5, 4, 3, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, live and available right now, Everlast, Whitey Ford, House of Pain. You.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir?
How are you doing, man?
Good to see you, brother.
It's good to see you again. Been a minute.
You going to Vegas this weekend for the fights?
Yeah, man. We got a little party the night before. We're doing a little show at the Brooklyn Bowl with my buddy Evidence and my crew Psycho.
No headphones? You don't want to wear headphones?
Oh, I will put the headphones on.
I feel like I'm alone here with the headphones on.
There we go.
Here we go.
Now we're on the same team.
Now we're locked in. Is this out? This is out, right?
Yeah, it came out about 3 weeks ago, something like that, maybe a month.
Beautiful.
I've been in Europe for the whole month just touring, so.
This is like everything. Everlast presents Whitey Ford's House of Pain.
Yeah, it's it's everything in the toolbox I brought to this record. So that's kind of where the title came from. Just, it's been 8 years since my last real studio album. So I figured, hey, maybe this could be the last one. I hope not. But
what?
Just like, my story. It's like, with the family. I dedicate a lot more of my time to the family than I used to,
Yeah.
Just because of some of the, extra issues we deal with, which everything is wonderful and great now, and dude, I'm 30 pounds lighter than the last time I was here.
How'd you do that?
Honestly, it started here because I purposely came here that day. It was the first time, if you remember, it was a while ago. I hadn't done 1,000 podcasts since that day, but it was the first time I had come out and they started talking about anything like, that was going on in my life in the public way. Mm-hmm. And, I got a lot off my chest that day, and I also planned that day to put myself in a position to hold myself accountable by stating I don't feel good about the way I look right now, and I reached out theoretically for help, and I got an incredible response from the podcast audience and my own fans. I mean, I got offered from everybody everywhere how to do this, that, and the other. Didn't really need that because within my own circle, some people stepped up, and I also did it to hold myself accountable, to put it in the universe. Like, I've thrown it out there now. Like I put it up there on the wall and stamped it and said, "Here's what I want out of life right now." And there's nobody stopping me but me. And sometimes some of the things I used to get on and see you talking about, I'm not letting this inner bitch kick my ass today, and I just started taking things like that to heart, And
so how did you change? What did you do different?
We started talking about it last time. Therapy, has helped a lot for me because of this, the added pressures our family faces with my oldest daughter having cystic fibrosis. It just, for a long time, it was just learning how to live life with it. And that got heavy. There was some real dark, heavy moments, scary moments for her in the hospital, So as a human, you have this baby and you're just trying to figure out how to not screw it up with a normal health situation. This is this added thing. So it took a long time for me to come to terms. At first, I got really angry. I got into some real, Lieutenant Dan, War with God kind of stuff, at the top of the sailboat flip. I was there all the way, and it got to a point where I almost got locked up for trying to fight a cop that was, trying to just talk to me about something. I just lost I had so much anger over so much that I wasn't dealing with. And then I found a guy that just really got me, therapist, and it began the ball rolling of understanding how to cope with a lot of that stuff.
Wow. So as far as first of all, you look really good.
Thank you, man.
Your face looks great. Your skin looks good.
I'm taking a lot better care of myself.
It looks like it.
Thank you.
What are you doing different as far as how you eat or?
Just eating cleaner, just trying not to, to be more aware of what's in the food and what's in the meat and stuff. I'm still part of the whole commercial meat system, though I long to get into a situation where I'm hunting and doing things like that. It's just...
We had talked about that for a while. You wanted to try hunting pigs at Tajon Ranch.
Well,
right?
I asked you what would be the best, starting point, and you were like, they got boar up there at El Tajon, and I know some guys, and I actually contacted them, and I just, again, this
You're
life.
so busy.
It's not just this. It's the added stress of I have a wife that when I go on the road, she's the sole handler of these problems, what I mean? And so that these things, pile on you, guilt and this, stress and all this, and So yeah, it's just between that and when I'm home, I just invest myself. I want to be home. I want to do as much as I can to lift that weight. Right. So like I get caught up by all the things I want to do, I can't do all the time. You know what I mean? But it started again. Now I'm taking care of myself. Like I'm actually about to start jujitsu again. You know, which yeah, because I forever I was so goddamn fat in the middle. Hip escapes were like, you know, I was hurting my back or my neck every other time I tried to do. I just quit because it was getting, you know what I mean? I mean, I wasn't super advanced. I was probably pretty close to getting a blue belt. You know, I was about a year in on like 4 lessons a week with just the private. You know, I was with Marcus Venices at Beverly Hills Jiu-Jitsu for a while. So now I'm just looking to see what I want to do. You know, I've talked to Eddie a few times. I'm talking to a few other guys. Kron has thrown some advice my way.
Doing any exercise at all besides that?
Cardio, not much weights or anything like that. Just, you know, keeping it moving. 2 hours on stage a night.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good to do something first. I feel like I always tell people like jiu-jitsu is so grueling that I think I mean, you could just jump in and you will get in shape through jiu-jitsu, but a good thing to do is like find a place that teaches you kettlebells and take some kettlebell classes and just get your body strong enough that it can
Well,
do
I remember
that
one of the things Marcus used to do. Marcus used to run me around the gym for 30 minutes before we could even start a lesson. Like I literally had to puke for the first like month.
Yeah, that's that old school way. A lot of
then it would take so long that he would be like, all right, you're past the puking thing. You ran enough. You know what I mean? But it was like at first I would like literally be run till I was puking. And then the crazy part about it was 15 minutes after you felt great. Like when you were doing the lesson. So it all worked.
Yeah, the old school guys, that's how they used to do it. They used to, like all the old school Carlson Gracie classes, you'd have a grueling physical workout first. Hip escapes, push-ups, sit-ups, bodyweight squats, all this different stuff. There's a good thought process behind that, not just that it gets you in shape, but also that you learn how to do jiu-jitsu when you're tired. Yeah. So that you learn how to just use technique and not use like physical strength.
You almost have no choice but to relax.
Yeah. There's people that disagree with that though. They think you should learn technique when you're fresh and it like sits in better. But it's just two different schools of thought. You know, I don't think either one is right. It's definitely good to understand what it's like to be tired and how to train and how to push yourself when you're tired.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I just started talking about about 2 weeks ago, really getting back into it.
Well, that's a lot of weight to lose, man. That's a big accomplishment.
I got 15 to go to hit my goal.
Yeah.
I want to be 225.
225 is a good weight, yeah. Are you taking vitamins or supplements or anything along those lines?
Like a daily, but I have restrictions because I take blood thinners and stuff because of this titanium heart valve I have. So I have to have a vitamin that's devoid of vitamin K because that's what makes your blood clot. So I like a lot of things, like a lot of the juicing things and like things like that. When you want to go on a juice cleanse, I can't do it because it's like a lot of it's kale based. And like kale is heavy green it's high in vitamin K. It'll totally like screw up my blood chemistry with, because I'm going the other direction with blood thinners.
Jesus Christ.
I have to, otherwise like a clock could stick to that titanium valve, break off and wind up in my brain. You know what I mean? Jesus. And then I'm stroked out. And that's the last thing we need.
Fuck. Yeah, I remember when you put the microphone up to your heart and you can hear that.
Yeah, I'm so like when I'm in here, I keep feeling like you can hear it anyways, like all through this. I hear it. It's white noise to me. If I want to hear it, I can hear it. I can take my pulse like this just by telling you.
Wow.
2, 3.
You can feel it?
Yeah, I can hear it in my own skull.
Wow.
Like I can hear it in my bones. I can hear it. It's in me.
How long is that good for?
Forever.
Forever?
As long as I take care of myself. I mean, it's been 20 years, literally, in 2018. It happened in 98.
Wow.
And I just get, as long as I keep the blood thinners going and I get checked, 2 times, 3 times a year,
And then the blood thinners are because if you got a clot, it would somehow or another get stuck in that valve?
A clot could it's a titanium valve, so the clot could actually form on it. The metal, like if the blood's too sticky and has too much clot, it could stick to the valve, then break off and then wind up in your brain.
Whoa.
So.
But
it's to avoid blood clots in general, yes.
Right. What's the difference between that and a regular valve? What would happen to the regular valve?
Well, the other choice would have been a pig valve, and those are good for about 15 years.
So like they usually had to open you up again.
Yeah. I would have had to have it done. I'd probably be due. Yeah, I'd probably right now do. Like I'd be like, yo,
Pig
here I go.
valve.
Yeah. They do that for older people is what they do. Like, when you get into your 60s, they'll really explore that because
Pig valve.
they don't think you're going to be around 50 more years,
Right. They just say, here, just for now.
Yeah, so it's called a St. Jude's artificial valve. Yeah.
Powerful medical technology. Eddie Bravo's got a titanium disc in his back now.
Yeah, he just had a surgery. That's right.
Yeah, his back moves around great. He was fully compressed where there was like nothing left. It was basically bone on bone. He was in pain all the time. And they just opened him up and put a fake valve in there.
That's crazy.
Or
man.
a fake disc rather in there. But it's articulating. So it moves around like a regular disc.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he's fused. Have you ever seen people that are all fused?
Yeah, they get the fuse. I have a friend that got that done.
Yeah, they're super stiff.
Yeah.
Like wherever it is basically locked down. There's no movement to it anymore. But Eddie's is actually, it moves like a real disc.
Yeah. The shit that's going to be coming down the pipeline is going to be crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I know people with fake everything. I know people with fake hips and fake knees and fake butts.
Fake heart valves.
Fake heart valves, yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, at a certain point in time, they're just going to replace your whole body and take your brain out and put it in some new body.
Or you're just going to be able to download your consciousness.
Well, that's what Elon was saying.
Yo, your man got in mad trouble.
He didn't really.
It made some noise, man.
Yeah, but here's the deal, dude. When you got $25 billion, all trouble is bullshit.
Truth.
It's like, good luck with your trouble.
Yeah,
You're in trouble,
You're
Elon. Oh,
right.
yeah. He's out there with a fucking flamethrower shooting rocket ships into the atmosphere.
Yeah, that flamethrower is crazy, too.
Does whatever he wants, man. He's basically like a little kid who's
Can
a
you
genius.
actually buy that? Is that
Not anymore.
for sale?
There's one right there.
Oh, you
That's
kidding?
it right there. Yeah. He sold them all out in 2 days or something, right?
Oh, man,
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. I would have been on that had I been hip.
What are you going to do with it, though?
It's just fun. It's just, you have a flamethrower.
But it's literally called not a flamethrower. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's basically what you saw in the movie Aliens. Remember the second
Mm-hmm.
Alien when they're shooting the flames at the aliens? That's what that thing is.
Yeah, I seen him on something just the other day. Almost looked like, was it here where it looked like he was
Yeah.
going to set the building on fire?
Yeah, that was in here. Yeah, that was on my Instagram. Yeah, he's a madman. The world needs more of those. More people like him, not more flamethrowers.
No, yeah. Plenty of flamethrowers.
So, you looking forward to the fights this weekend?
I'm super jacked for it, man. We got this little show before.
Is anybody coming out to jump around?
I don't know.
They have to.
They, I'm waiting for Connor to,
How does he not
I don't know.
adopt that
You know what I
song?
mean?
Well, he comes out to Sinead O'Connor, right?
Like he does usually that into the Notorious
Right.
song,
Right.
the
Yeah.
I don't know, the Notorious.
Right.
Or-
yeah. Who was coming out to jump around? Marcus Davis did.
He did. I know Cavillo, that the female fighter. She's
Cynthia
fights now.
Calvillo?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Cavillo. Thank you.
Yeah.
I know she comes out to jump around.
Right.
I met her at a fight. She was super cool. She was super cool.
Quite a few people have come out to it.
Yeah, I think Machida came out to it once.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's over in Bellator now.
I'm
It's
not
interesting.
always sure they have a choice. Sometimes I just think Dana says you're coming out to jump around. or something.
Well, he definitely takes away bad choices. If
That
they
might
have,
be
like,
what
a bad
happened.
one.
I might be the sub when there's a really shitty
Yeah.
choice. Here, throw that in there.
But then Darren Till came out to Sweet Caroline. He came out to who is that? Who
Neil
sings that?
Diamond.
Neil Diamond. Yeah, and he had the whole crowd singing along.
Yeah,
I'm like, this
that's-
is crazy.
Crazy. Was that in Boston or in that area of the country? 'Cause
No, it was. Where was that fight? Chicago?
Chicago makes sense. Neil Diamond.
Wasn't
yeah.
it Chicago?
It could.
No, Dallas. It was Dallas.
That's
Dallas.
strange. That's a little weird.
He should have came out to Hank Williams. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. Yeah. It's just that's a big deal. Like, walkout songs are a big deal. You can't have a whack
It
walkout
sets the
song.
tone. What the thing for me is when I hear one of my songs, I'm just always like, oh, please win. I'm just like, oh,
Imagine,
please
right,
win.
if your song becomes a curse.
Yo, dude, yeah, it's like, oh man, come on, man.
Like John Anik does stats on fist bumps, like how many times people fist bump Bruce Buffer, whether or not they win or lose. And Diego Sanchez broke the curse in his last fight. He fist bumped Bruce and he won.
So the
'Cause we were
fist
trying
bump
to-
was a curse.
We were trying to figure it out.
Oh, okay.
Because he was like, I think it's like 50-50, right now, like whether or not people, when they fist bump Bruce Buffer, whether they win. And there was a bad streak for a while, like 3 or 4 people in a row lost that were fist bumping. You know, Bruce gives you the intro, and when he gives you the Diego, a Nightmare Sanchez.
Yeah, I see.
Gives you a little fist bump. And if you fist bump him back, if you do engage in that, like Anik was like trying to figure out, like Anik is kind of a degenerate gambler in the most positive way. I mean, he's not losing his family or his life, but he fucking loves gambling. And so he's always like giving you stats on this and that.
Finding something to put a bet on, right?
I mean, it's not even things he actually bets on, but he's always thinking that way. Like,
could you bet on it?
Yeah. I wonder if you could bet on how many people who fist bump Bruce Buffer.
You could find somebody to take the bet.
The thought process would be you're not totally in the zone if you got the time to fist bump Bruce Buffer. I'm not sure if I buy it, though.
No, because it's also your moment when he's saying your name, and it's like, I'd be in that. I'd be,
Yeah. I don't know. It's tricky. It's tricky.
Well, it sounds like it's about even, so it's just one of them things.
Someone should do stats on it, because John Anik has only done like, just off the top of his head.
There's some guy in his basement right now starting.
Oh, for sure.
Starting to watch the fights.
Yeah, for sure.
Write it down. Okay, let's take the notes.
Well, you could basically bet on anything these days, right?
In Vegas, you could pretty much find a lot of things that you wouldn't think you could bet on that you can.
I don't even bet, but I like the fact that you can bet on everything. Why not?
Yeah,
like,
over-unders, coin flips.
And it's also, I like that it's freedom. I don't like this idea that people are telling you what you can and can't do with your money. Like, you can't gamble your money away. Like, you have to go to a spot in the desert. Like, why? Says who? Like, why can't you gamble right here?
Well,
why can't you have a casino?
Places.
Why can't you have a casino on every corner? Who cares? Like, well, people are going to lose their paycheck and lose their family and lose their... Will they really? Is that what's going to do it? Is it the casino?
Maybe for a while, but then people will be like, we shouldn't go there as much. Yeah,
it's like the infantilization of people. You're going to protect them from themselves. You don't protect them from liquor stores or fast cars. Those things are everywhere.
Everywhere.
Good point, right?
Yeah. I'm with you, man.
I could never live in Vegas, though. I could live in Vegas, if it was between Beirut and Vegas. I'd be like, yeah, Vegas.
For sure.
Let's do it. I'll figure it out. But, it seems to me like the whole thing it's built. I mean, there's shows, and it's wonderful, and there's neon, and there's great restaurants and all that stuff, but it's also built on you losing money.
Yeah.
The whole thing is built on you losing money.
And what's the real population of Vegas? Like 500,000 people? Like that of people that aren't there visiting, gambling, and for the fuckery?
Let's take a guess.
I'm guessing like 500,000 people.
Yeah. I bet you're about right. 6?
630,000.
I'm not
pretty
that
close.
far off, man.
Pretty close. Yeah, it's a good guess.
Would that have been? That's close enough to win the bet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if the price is right.
Yeah, so you got a real small town there that's acting like a city too. It's kind of weird.
Right. Well, like, what is the population at any given time with all the hotels filled?
Oh, I would probably guess.
Like, this weekend's a big weekend.
At least double.
More than that, probably. Right?
I'm saying at least, even like an off day, you're probably at least double that.
But a lot of the folks that work in Vegas, they live in like Henderson or something like that, where you can go, and it's a nice neighborhood. Your kids can ride bikes in the street. It's like normal. There's
over
places.
there too, Summerlin too. That's really nice over there.
Yes. Yeah. There's a few of those spots that are like normal.
I actually like staying over there at that Red Rock.
That's nice.
I don't like the Strip. There's too much fuckery, man.
Exactly.
Too much.
That's why I like you.
Just like it quiet. If I want the fuckery, I'll take a cab to the fuckery.
Exactly. The fuckery's over 40 minutes away.
It actually says there's 1.5 million people there, but
at any given time.
Probably more like that. Yeah.
Wow. So for the fights, what about a big fight weekend?
That's what I'm looking for. I typed in for hotels, how many people were in the hotel rooms. I guess there's 148,000 rooms.
Whoa. Dude, there might be 148,000 Irish people there this weekend. Just screaming. Yeah, if you're there this weekend, just pay attention, because it's going to be bananas. The last time for the Mayweather fight, there was a video that someone posted of Mandalay Bay. And Mandalay Bay was not even where the fight was taking place. And the Irish had this one hallway completely filled, and they were all singing. Yeah. They were singing some crazy Irish
song. They shut down like 6th Avenue in New York.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's one little
amazing.
island. It's a little island. It's
They
not big.
all got on a plane.
It's fucking crazy.
And there's a lot of us here too, you know, and I say us.
Yeah. I got a little in me. 1/4.
There's so many more Irish or Irish part Irish people in America. There's more than there are Irish people in Ireland.
They did a lot of fucking.
Yeah.
They came over here and did a lot of fucking.
Yeah. And they weren't discriminate about, you know, color or creed or any of that.
Meanwhile, Jamie's got a Notorious t-shirt on with the Irish flag. Look at you, savage. Is that available at youngjamie.com?
There's a link there if you need it.
Oh my goodness. Powerful commerce.
I want to try this whiskey, honestly, that he's got. I got to.
Yeah, you're a whiskey expert, right?
I want to lay hands on it and see.
What's a good whiskey?
I actually was going to bring you a bottle of this, and I will next time, but I didn't because of out of respect for Sober October.
Sober October may be falling apart. I'm going to tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen. Bert Kreischer's going on a cruise, and Ari Shaffir and Tom Segura both gave him the green light to drink because this fitness challenge is falling apart. Meanwhile, Bert is strongly in last place. Yeah, all that talk about the Mickey Mantle gene, he's not even close. But what's fascinating is Ari Shaffir is very close to me. He posted today before my workout, that sneaky bitch, that he was ahead of me. But that's how close he is. He's so close that before his workout, he was like 100 points ahead of me. Before my workout, rather, after his. Now he's like 400 points behind me. But that's close. 400 points is one workout. If you're an asshole and you want to get on a fucking treadmill for 2 hours, you can bang out 400 points. I banged out 500 today. 507 at the end of the workout.
You're a beast, dude.
It's not a beast, man. It's boring. I was watching Gladiator. There's little red spikes in my workout where I hit 90. That's when the fights were happening. I got amped.
You might end up doing podcasts while you're on a elliptical for the end of the month.
It would suck.
Redbreast is my favorite new whiskey.
Redbreast?
Yes.
Who makes that?
It's Redbreast. It's like an Irish whiskey.
Oh.
I'm gonna bring you a bottle of the 20-year-old. It's gorgeous.
20 years old.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
What was that shit that we drank with Stanhope? That was really good. Was it Stanhope? No.
Stanhope
Elon.
brought Old
right.
Camp.
Stanhope brought it, and doesn't some band make it?
It's the
Florida Georgia Line or some shit.
I think so.
Do they make it? Is it theirs?
I double check.
Yeah, they're like a pop band. They make a good whiskey.
They're like a country band, I think. Country pop,
Yeah, that's
whatever.
theirs. Yeah, Old Camp.
Listen, man, if you call yourself country but you get them fake rips in your jeans, you can go suck a bag of dicks. Okay, that ain't country. Not saying that they have that. I don't even know. But you know what I'm saying? Like those fake rips in the jeans drive me.
I might have a couple little fake rips in my jeans
I don't
over
think
here.
you do. I checked. Those fake rips drive me goddamn bananas. Like, what are we? We're pretending that we work hard? Or what are we pretending that we've had these jeans for a long time and they're special to us? Or do we just buy them off the shelf at Macy's, pre-ripped, like assholes? Like, where the fuck did that take place? Like, if our grandparents who made it through the Depression could come over here and see us buying ripped jeans, they would realize, like, what is wrong with this nerfed up, softened down, fucking shitty country we live in
America.
right now? It's too easy. Too easy to get by.
We
need wolves in the streets, young Eric. Wolves.
Don't get me started, dude.
Can't be running around with fucking fake rips in your jeans. Meanwhile, Brendan Schaub, one of my best friends, does that. Oh, who's this?
That's them.
That's them with the... I nailed it! I didn't even mean to nail it. I didn't even mean that. I just took a wild guess. I don't know a goddamn thing about these fellas. Go to that other one. Go to that last
You're
picture.
gonna make me put the glasses on here.
Look at those jeans. Make that bigger. Well, he looks like he got
full
attacked by a
Joe.
shark.
I got some paint.
Oh, you do have some.
Some scrapes.
You got some fucked up shit on your jeans.
I'm gonna keep it real though. I'm not gonna like
This is sad.
let you go in on them and not come claim my jeans here.
Listen, I should shut the fuck up. I'm basically wearing yoga pants. I got these barbell jeans on. These aren't even jeans. These are goddamn yoga pants. Look at
All
this.
jeans are made of weird, like this ain't. I mean, well, these don't do
These
that.
aren't even jeans.
These are
though.
actually denim.
These are like they might as well be spandex. I might as well be wearing yoga pants.
But most pants are that now. Even the ones that look like jeans, a lot of them are that. Yeah,
they
it's
feel
crazy.
better.
Yeah.
It's technology.
It's called advancement in human civilization.
Yeah, you want to drive a car with leaf springs like an asshole, or do you want some new magnetic Cadillac Escalade
You want the
fucking
breeze
electromagnetic.
to, cruise through your pants, or you want to, be sweaty all your life?
The breeze from the fake holes. I'll take the sweat like a man.
I'm going to rock mine because I got skinny enough to wear these motherfuckers.
Okay, I respect that.
I'm going to wear these
respect that.
And wifey
Your fashion.
likes these motherfuckers.
Well, that's two pluses. Just don't wear cowboy boots.
Oh,
You'll be
hell
all
no.
right.
We rocking the sneakers for life, dude.
My friend Cam Haynes, he wears them cowboy boots, and I just shut my mouth, look down at those big old wooden heels, and I think Andrew Santino's bit. You ever seen Andrew Santino's bit? He's got a bit about dudes who wear cowboy boots. Holy shit, is it funny? Oh, my God.
I'll look it up on the tube.
I don't even know if he might not even put it on a special yet, but he's a whole bit about dudes dressed up like with cowboy hats on and cowboy boots. It was fucking hilarious. Anyway, but I digress. What's this a cow skull with the third eye? What's that?
Just a sweatshirt I liked.
Okay. I like it too. It's one
It's
of
a
those.
brand called Adaptation.
Interesting.
Has a fake hole in the elbow.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, dude.
Jesus
Full disclosure,
Christ.
I'm not going to not tell the truth.
What is happening with the holes? How did that happen? What happened to us?
I'm sorry, dude. I'm disappointing you
But
so
here's
much.
the thing. The reality is, and this is what's fucked up. Why does it look better? Because it kind of does. Kind of looks better. If you're wearing a shirt and it's got like, even if it's a new shirt, but it's got like those little holes around the collar, little tiny holes, like a little bit of rip here, a little tiny rip there. Why does it look better?
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's not. Maybe there's some psychological way of ripping things that some people are more talented at it, that they just know where to make it cool.
They make it look
I
like
mean, when we
you're
were young,
comfortable.
like if you had like a pair of Levi's where the knee was getting thin, we would
Yeah.
advance that shit. There
Would
was
you?
something cool. Yeah, you would like if it was like we didn't do it on like rip them up like they do nowadays, but like say you had a pair of jeans long enough, they the knees would get thin. If they ripped a little, you just kind of run with it, maybe stress them
You would
out,
do
rip them
that?
a little bit more. Yeah, why not?
I don't like that.
Oh well.
Presenting the $1,625 designer T-shirt complete with tears and holes. Okay, we can all agree. If you buy that, you're a fucking asshole.
If you spent $1,000 on a T-shirt, you're kind of an asshole.
The only good thing about that is I think that's a lady's T-shirt, and them holes are right above them titties. And all she has to do is bend over to tie her shoes, and it might not be a nip slip. It might be a nip poke through, right? Like, look where those holes are.
Quite possibly.
If those titties are jutting out, right? Look at that.
You know how that works too. She might not even be wearing that shirt.
That might not even be a person, bro.
You know what I mean?
That might be a mannequin.
Like
Right?
they do things and they just put different shirts on shit with Photoshop and shit now. It's crazy.
Yeah, but that's a stupid shirt. That's a $1,600
There's a stupider
shirt.
shirt. Look at this one. There's a T-shirt that has a button-down shirt sewn to the front of it.
What?
Dude, it was like on the blogs a couple weeks ago.
So
You
it's
know what I'm
not
talking
really
about. See,
like
he's in the sneaker blogs. He's in this, so he's some of that shit leaks through and shit. So I'm like, you see like these crazy designer crazy.
Do you wear
bullshit.
Yeezys?
I have a couple pairs, but I don't really wear them that much.
Thank you.
I'm more of a Jordan guy.
You ever thought about lighting them on fire?
Sometimes, like when the dude's kind of batshit crazy. I actually
out of
say
his-
that on this album.
Do you? He's
I
out
say
of
I'm
his fucking
batshit
mind.
crazier than Ye and Sarah Palin.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Oh, good
Balenciaga.
lord.
That's
What?
a real thing.
So one side has a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is sewn to the front.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't even. It looks like it's hanging there.
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
just
even
hanging.
look like.
It is just hanging there.
But it doesn't even look like you're wearing it. It looks
It's
like it's just hanging
stapled to
there.
the front of your shirt.
What? Hold on. Go back to that price.
It's, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
$1,300.
$1,300.
That's why I was saying that.
Gonna buy
That's
one?
worse than the T-shirt
You gonna buy one right now?
Oh my God, $1,300. Wow.
for that.
Do you see Kanye jumped on the table at a university? Was talking about leave Elon Musk alone.
That dude's lost his mind, man.
What's going on?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of people that speculate, and that's all I would say this is from me. But ever since that man's mother died, he's been on a downward spiral, like losing his shit.
Well,
I think he's suffering from some serious, like,
no
mental
bullshit.
shit.
He did get into a serious car accident, right?
Uh-huh.
Broke his jaw.
Yeah,
He was
before that.
seriously
yeah,
injured.
a few years before that.
That is not a joke.
No.
Like brain trauma, and listen, I'm not a doctor or anything even remotely related to one, but I've been around a lot of people who've been hit in the head a lot. That shit's real. Like that will change your brain chemistry. It's 100% legit. Like, getting hit in the head is no bueno. And car accidents will fuck people up forever. Some people are okay. They recover. But boy, there's a lot of people that come back from some significant head trauma and just, they're scrambled, man. And he might be one of those. And it also might be what I talked about in my last special, triggered. But you live with crazy bitches long enough.
I remember that.
They get to you. Something happens.
You were talking about the soul-stealing succubi.
It might be true.
Dude, that was an amazing routine, I gotta tell you.
Well, I was trying to figure out a way that I could get away with making fun of Bruce Jenner without being called transphobic. So I had to go a circuitous route.
It was brilliant.
Go a long route, but
Saw
I had
you
to
do it
drag
at
Kanye
the
in there
Cobb
too.
First time I saw it, yeah.
I had to drag Kanye in that too.
Dude, drag
Look at
every
him.
male that's gone into that circle into it.
Everyone.
Every
We
single
lost
one.
them all.
It's spooky.
Yeah,
Lamar Odom was like a world champion basketball player, dude.
He just got cracked out. He got
Reggie
dragged
Bush,
into that
what
world.
happened to him?
Reggie Bush got wise and fucking
But he just dipped?
bailed. He's got my old car. Reggie Bush has my 1970 Barracuda.
Is that right?
Yeah. I sold it to this other dude, and this other dude sold it to Reggie. And he drives around that car. It's a dope car.
That is a dope car.
Yeah, so he's got some taste.
Yeah, but
And he got wise.
Weird things are going on over there, man.
He smashed and bolted. That's
Good
how
for
you
him.
do it.
Good
And
for
he smashed before the fake ass came into the picture, too.
That's another phenomenon I don't even understand. Like,
Diaper butt.
It's like, well, I like a nice round butt. You
Yeah,
know
a
what
real
I mean?
one.
I like a real, yeah.
There's my car. There's Reggie Bush driving it. Well, it's not my car. It's his now. Yeah. Look at that, Reggie. You glorious bastard.
You had her first.
Yeah, not a really good car. Really good car to look at.
It's a reference.
How to get rid of it. Oh, yeah. That's the Ray J song, right?
I didn't even realize that. I was just making an innuendo.
Right.
But there you go. Full circle.
You wouldn't want to take second place to Reggie Bush, too. That guy is built like a brick shit house. You know he was smashing that, right? Whatever damage he did to that, he probably was like a car accident. Maybe all that fake ass shit came after him. You get hit by that dude?
I read she used to wake up before him and get hot towels ready and put his toothpaste on his toothbrush.
Smart.
Yeah.
Treat him like a king.
Hey.
He probably just smashed it. She was probably all day just delirious, just from all the orgasms, just walking around bumping into walls and shit. There's a picture of him and her by the pool, and you look at him and you go, that guy must be just smashing that. He's a super athlete. I mean, that guy is built like a fucking superhero.
All of them, that's all they really date.
Yeah, right?
For the most part.
Yeah. Except Kanye.
Yeah.
She needs to settle down. Catch her
He
breath.
came behind a basketball player, too, right
That's
there,
right.
right? That
That's
basketball
right.
player, dude.
The dude who was on the show all the time. That guy was on the show all the time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Crazy living. I can't even see living your life like that. Like out there in fucking public, just every fucking bit of your business. Oh, that would be a nightmare to me.
Well, it's also not interesting, but yet edited so well that you just go slackjaw and you just watch. It's just they switch from one scene to another quick enough so that you keep watching it, and when it's over, nothing happened.
Nothing.
And you're like, what the fuck did I do with my hour?
You gave it to them, and they advertised like 18 products that they got paid for.
And they made a fucking ass load of money. When you find out how much that family has made, you just go, wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
It's
What?
amazing.
Yeah.
Can't hate.
Can't hate.
Can't
You shouldn't. You should make fun.
Make fun all day.
Yeah, make fun all day.
Please. That's
Yeah, but-
that's our God-given right.
Yes.
When you get that much money,
Yes.
if I get that much money,
Yes.
I can't even get mad no
No.
matter how much fun you make of me. No
No.
matter what I do. I could be a saint, you still can make fun of me
Yes.
because I got that much money. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, and you want to talk about someone out there. Those fucking people are out there. They got everything out there.
Yeah, they're living like performance art.
Yeah.
It's just
They're like living in a giant glass house on a pedestal in the middle of a city. Ooh, almost.
That's where all that comes from, though. It's like, the fake asses and all that. You got to keep the spectacle alive almost, you know what I mean? If it's not a spectacle, it's not interesting, like
Yeah,
you're
they
saying.
have to keep changing things.
If it's not an absolute spectacle to the vision, your brain will catch on to the my favorite word, fuckery.
Yeah, I love that word too.
It's my favorite word.
It's a great word.
Yeah.
It's a good. It really is like a great. First of all, it's a word that you can get away with no matter what. It's not a word that you know eventually you won't be able to use anymore.
No.
Fuckery is just going to be around forever, and it is perfect for like nonsense.
Yeah. I've been, my English friends for years were saying fuckery. That's the thing. It's only recently catching on over here.
Yeah, really?
In the last 10 years. I'm talking about since the 80s I've been hearing fuckery.
I'm trying to figure out when I started using it. I started using it in regards to martial arts, like fake martial arts.
I use it in all kinds of. You can use it lightheartedly. You can use it seriously.
Yeah, it works
a beautiful
with everything.
Word. It's as versatile as just plain old fuck.
Yeah, yeah. Steve Maxwell, that's where I got it from. I started using it with Steve Maxwell. He was describing some fake martial arts, talking about, because, Steve's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's like, yeah, it's a lot of fuckery. And I was like, ooh, I like that word.
It's a great word.
That's a word I'm going to keep using.
I just looked it up to see if there's a good definition, and it says it's also a definition for another word for a brothel.
A fuckery?
A fuckery. Holy shit. Dude, you just opened my brain in a new way.
Of course. That's like, duh. Of course they'd call it a fuckery.
Are you going to the fuckery? That's amazing.
Yeah, like a brewery, a fuckery.
Oh, that's too good.
Oh, that's hilarious.
That never would have dawned on me had you not just
brothel,
told me that.
vulgar slang, uncountable sexual intercourse. What?
Yeah, it
Wow.
means that which is fucked up.
That which is fucked up is that which is fucked up is
But a
a
brothel,
hilarious
it's
definition.
It is a fuckery.
That is hilarious. A fuckery. Oh
I had
my
only
God.
used it in its verb form.
Yeah.
It's actually a noun.
Yeah,
There is a fuckery.
a fuckery, a place where you can go get your fuckery
Dude,
on.
that's brand new. That's literally brand new.
The translation into French, I guess, is what it says.
French. They figured out a lot of shit. Have you ever been to Paris?
Oh, I love Paris. It's
Did
one of
you
my
ever
favorite
go to
cities.
that place underneath that has all the skeletons?
No, I have not been to the catacombs. Friends of mine have gone though.
Yeah, I want to go, man. I want to go and see that.
Yeah, you can get tours and all kinds of shit like that.
What was that? People that died in the plague? Is that what it is?
I think so.
And they just buried them?
Yeah, the church put them all in the catacombs.
Do you know at one time Paris had a wolf problem and people were getting killed by wolves?
In recent history?
1400s.
Oh, okay.
Look at that. Wow, look at those pictures, all those skulls. Yeah, there's a crazy story about the
I have been
wolves
to
in
a
Paris.
place that whenever I see pictures of this, it reminds me. There's a place in, I want to say, what country is Prague? The Czech Republic? I think it's called Kutna Hora. Kutnahora. It's like a church that's
I've
built
seen that.
of thousands of people's skeletons, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, there it is,
That's
dude.
it.
That
What?
place is bananas, man.
Did you go to that too?
Oh, no, I've been there. I haven't been to the catacombs. I'm
Oh,
saying
my
whenever I see
God.
pictures of the catacombs, but this place is like an entire church decorated, and then they have little dens of places, altars. It's thousands and thousands. Those are vertebrae. Those spine. Oh, no. There's another one where it's all
chandeliers.
spines.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
That is bananas.
It's nutty. Kutna Hora. And it's, you can just go there, and I think you pay a couple of whatever euros, and you can walk in there. And I got tons of flicks in there.
It's weird when you go to those places and you realize these places are I was in Italy and there was a church that I went to and there was this glass floor. The church was over 1,000 years old and there's a glass floor that you walk on. Below the glass floor is the old church that the 1,000-year-old church was built on. They have no idea how old the old church is.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Which church was this?
It's in Ravello. It's at the top of there's a bunch of cute little shops and little hotels and shit out
Just
there.
wanna make sure I check
and
it
there's
out
a small
when I get over
church there. Yeah, it's the church that you could visit is more than 1,000 years old. I put a picture on my Instagram of this crazy picture of what they thought a whale looked like. It was a story of who was the dude who got eaten by the whale in the Bible?
Jonah.
Jonah and the whale, and it's like in a mosaic on the wall. But it's like what they thought a whale was. It's like, before they had photos, some dude would draw you a picture of some shit he saw. This is what a whale looks like, my friend. And then, some other dude who never saw a whale would make a mosaic of this shit and put it on the wall. It's just so weird. We went to the place that got fucked up by the volcano too.
Pompeii.
Pompeii, yeah.
I've been to Pompeii. Yeah,
That was fascinating too.
It's crazy. See
Think
people
those-
just instantly.
20 feet of ash, just covered in ash. Just
Can't even
boom.
imagine.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute, nothing, and then next minute, a little earthquake.
And while you're there, you can see the volcano. It's right there.
Still active, yeah?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's had a real issue in a long time. See if you find that Instagram picture of Jonah and the whale.
That's scary shit,
It's
man.
from July.
Volcanoes, man. That Hawaii, everything going on there.
Yeah.
That's nutty, man. Just
Scary.
getting, like, I read a story of, like, somebody didn't touch the lava. They just got within, like, a couple inches of it and, like
Burnt themselves?
melted their skin, like, off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not even getting, like, actually hit by it. You get hit by it, your shit's dissolving.
Oh, you can cook on it. You can slap a steak on that bitch.
It would dissolve.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. It's not the best conductor of heat. You know, you just slap a steak on there, sear it, flip it.
They take 1 second.
There was some crazy chef did this where they took molten iron and they poured it down this chute, and as it was going down this chute, they slapped steaks on it. It was like they were cooking on this hot molten iron.
That's crazy.
Yeah, people get bored.
Wonder if it tasted any.
Probably tasted like shit.
Yeah.
Probably ruined a good
Probably
steak.
tasted like molten fucking whatever the fuck.
Yeah, like molten dirt. Did you see the video of the lava consuming that Mustang? Did you see
Yes.
that video? That was what?
Just dissolved.
If you got payments and you just fucking, damn, man, this car's killing me. These payments are killing me. Just park that bitch right where that lava's coming.
In Hawaii.
Yeah, watch it get melted. Set up a camera.
Can't even imagine there's a lot of Mustangs over there either.
That probably is. A lot of American cars over there. They buy a lot of Toyotas because they don't break.
Yeah, and they're small.
Yeah, but it's also like you don't everything has to get flown over there, so you don't want anything to break.
Super expensive, man.
Yeah, everything, food,
Stuff
housing.
is more expensive there than, like, the only other place that was comparable to me was Perth.
Really?
Well, because everything's
yeah. Mm-hmm.
so, it's like everything's same distance. It's the furthest, like, city, like, isolated by itself.
In Australia? Yeah.
And I think maybe in the world, like,
Really?
away from any other major city.
That makes sense, right? Because Australia is as big as the United States.
Yeah, and it's really the only major city on the West Coast that you hit. Yeah.
How big
like,
is it? How big is Perth?
It's like I don't know how many people, but it's like a city.
Do you perform there a lot?
Not a lot. It's been probably almost 10 years since I've been to Australia.
I love Australia, but I do not love that fucking flight, baby.
It's tough.
Woo, that's a
It's
rough
tough.
flight.
It takes a minute to get over that shit.
Yeah, you land and you're like, where am I?
For a couple of days.
There it is. That's what they
that's
thought a whale
the- oh,
looked like. Like, what the fuck is that, man? It's like a fish with a lion head. Like, look, that's what they thought Jonah and the whale looked like
That's hilarious.
1,000 years ago. Strange, right?
Like, dude was trying to make a run for it,
Yeah, look at him.
obviously.
Look at him. He's like, I'm gonna get the fuck away from this. That dude kind of looks like me. That's a little disturbing. It's like, let me get out of here. Bald-headed dude with a beard trying to get away from this lion fish with wings thing. That's what they thought a whale was.
Craziness.
How, just imagine what it was like living 1,000 years ago when there was no pictures. Yeah,
Is that the glass floor?
Yeah, that's my feet right there. So you're in this church. The church is 1,000 years old, and go back to that last one, Jamie. That one, that's the glass floor, and then you look down, and they have this entirely different church underneath it that's way older. They don't know how old it is. It's been there forever. Could be several thousand years old. The church is gorgeous, though. There's a lot of those churches you've been to the Vatican, right?
Yeah.
That's the mindfuck of all mindfucks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like St. Peter's Basilica, when you're walking around that place, and you're just like, what? Like,
it's insane.
how did people do this?
It's retarded, man.
It's
The
unbelievable.
whole Vatican's just
No power saws.
nothing.
No fucking cranes. Everything was like ladders and shit.
And the paintings and the art, just insane.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Stunning. Billions of dollars worth of art. And the whole area, the whole Vatican is essentially its own country.
Yeah.
So they can keep those kid fuckers over there and they never have to export them.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. That's the darkest of the dark.
no argument
Nobody
here.
can, man. They'll try. People get mad. And look, I get it. I was a Catholic for a little bit. That's a dark, dark institution. There is no denying it. I mean, they've just busted another group of priests in Pennsylvania, molested more than 1,000 kids, moving them around, not charging them.
Organized religion in general is the biggest mind control that's ever existed. Trying to control populations, and what's the best way? Make you believe a certain thing. You know what I mean?
But there's better ones. There's some that you go,
oh, for sure. For sure.
What have the Baptists have done? What have they done that's so terrible?
Oh, I don't know.
There's no Baptist scandals like
Truth.
that, large scale scandals. Even the Mormons, like they've had a few dudes who wanted more than one bride. They got greedy.
More than a few. There's a whole part of their thing that's how they still live. But
and there's some sect SECTs that branched off and got real freaky.
On the scale that the Catholic Church has done things, it's unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
For sure. Completely.
Yeah, because they actively shield these people from prosecution.
Yeah.
And they keep it all in-house.
Isn't a lot? I mean, aren't people actually getting like I've heard some things like they're going after cardinals and shit like criminally.
Well,
lately.
that is why the Pope had to step down.
Yeah.
That last Pope had to step down because they wanted to prosecute him for crimes against humanity.
Oh yeah, because he was one of the dudes who orchestrated a lot of that stuff.
Exactly.
The guy right before the.
He moved a guy who went on to molest 100 deaf children.
Yeah, I remember reading stuff about that.
It's dark, man. It's
very
dark, and it's one of those things where people, it's been a part of their family. It's been a part of their family's family. It's been a part of their history. They go to church. They pay their respects. Everything's okay. They don't want to hear it. People don't want to hear it. But it's over. The evidence is just so overwhelming. There's so much awful shit that's
who's
attached to that
denying
church.
it is the point. I mean, I think,
Right.
I just think, again, people, like you're saying, I was raised Catholic. By the time I was they had this thing called confirmation, which is sort of like a similar thing to what the time that you're becoming a man, you're making your own choices, an adult, because it wasn't just men. But by the time I did that and realized okay, there's not a lot of, there's a little too much magic going on for me. You know what I mean? Going on with this, I like just factual, knowledgeable things, if these people really existed, and what were they really like? I'm not buying into the fact that anybody on this earth didn't take a shit like I took a shit. You know what I mean? We all take the same shits.
It'd be nice if someone came up with a good religion, like a real solid, lockdown one.
I mean, there is one. We'd all just would have to agree on it. How about just the golden rule? That could basically be a religion in itself, the Church of Universal Law. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Yeah. And you could hold corporations to that. You could be like, all right, we start. What's more powerful than 10 million people on a Facebook page that are watching these corporations? And the minute they say, hey, you're not giving back to the community or taking care of the people that are taking care of you, that's easily done, but it takes work.
That's a good point. Yeah.
It's easily done. If everybody in the world just really treated the next person like they wanted to be treated themselves, there you go.
And did it as a law, right? And then we held people accountable to that.
Yeah.
You are not responding to the universal law, the universal golden rule.
It sounds super simple, but it took a lot of work. But the principle is simple.
Right, and all the other stuff, like all other forms of commerce and everything else, would still fall under that. Just like you could do whatever you want as long as you're treating people kindly.
Exactly.
Ideally, commerce and capitalism, all that stuff should be real simple. Like, you have a great CD, you want to sell it, you want $20 for it, somebody gives you $20, they're happy, you're happy. That should be commerce, right?
Yeah.
It should be you sell something, people buy it, everybody's good. But then you get a little greedy. If we can figure out a way to corner this market and keep other people from selling this or selling that, or we got to stop people from growing this, because if they grow this and sell that, then
you're not doing what's best for. You're not doing what you would want them to do to you.
Exactly.
So you're breaking the law.
Violation of the golden rule.
If that's, I've thought about it obviously before. Like, hey man, what would be, and I'm then like, that'd be a really cool thing to do.
That would be the way.
Somebody with enough charisma, could pull it off. Get people to get behind it. That's really all it would take, is people getting behind it.
Yeah, but the problem is there's so many people that we're seeing this with politics, right? Like, I'm fascinated by these Kavanaugh hearings. Like I watch little clips of it before I just have to tune out and get the
Talking
fuck
about
away from
fuckery.
it. Talk about fuckery. I mean, I don't know what that dude did or what he didn't do, but I think what's happening is more than that. What's happening is, first of all, he's involved with. He was a big part of the Patriot Act. He was, he's involved in some issues that a lot of people are very concerned with in terms of like how his position, his stance on privacy and on rights and
Absolutely.
yeah. There's more to it than just did you fuck with someone in high school? Did you sexually assault someone? Did you do that when you were 18? Do you remember? Like there's more to it than that. There's like they don't want that guy in there. And then you're seeing all the people that want to pretend that he's the best guy ever and all the people.
It's craziness, man.
It's fascinating. It's really fascinating. It's fascinating to watch because it's essentially like a less like the Clarence Thomas hearings from what was it like the 1980s, I believe. Clarence Thomas. I feel like that was
late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Clarence Thomas. That was like with Anita Hill, where he had sexually harassed her. They were working together, and she
the
came
whole
out.
pubic hairs on the whatever coke or something.
Do you know that he's now the longest running member of the Supreme Court? He's now been in the Supreme Court longer. I think I read that. Check, make sure that's true.
Isn't Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Hasn't she be on there longer?
Longest serving, 26 years as of October 4th. He will be.
He will
wow.
be. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, so it didn't work. Anita's Hill's out there living with the memory of pubic hairs on coke.
Yeah. And a movie now, an HBO movie, not too long ago.
Oh yeah. Did you watch it?
I saw it. Was
it okay?
It was a pretty good movie. It was just, we lived through it. So it's like whenever I see movies about like the OJ trial or something, I'm like, no, we saw it live for like 700 days. You know what I mean?
I'm always fascinated by those movies because of creative license. Like if you do a movie on Richard Nixon, right? Do you sure he said that? Or even crazier, you do a movie on Lincoln. Bitch, you don't know what the fuck he said.
You
can't be like
possibly unless he wrote it down.
Yeah, you're having him say a bunch of shit day to day, talking to his wife and kids. You don't know what the fuck he said.
That's pretty funny.
You're just making this up. This is weird that we're allowed to do that. You're allowed to just put some words in George Washington's mouth. Like, you don't know what the fuck George Washington said. You know?
Have you seen this movie coming out?
Yes.
Christian Bale is Dick Cheney and
dude, it looks amazing.
Steve Carell's Donald Rumsfeld.
Christian Bale is a fucking bad motherfucker. His acting as Dick Cheney is off the charts. I mean, he does the voice. He got fat for it. Everything. That's him.
Whoa.
Dude.
I'll find a better one for you.
There's the video of, first of all, him and Sam Rockwell is George Bush. He's amazing, too. Sam Rockwell is one of the most underappreciated actors.
What's the name of this movie?
Vice.
Yeah. It's amazing, dude. Sam Rockwell nails it as George. Here, play the trailer.
Oh, well,
Will they pull us?
It's too new. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull us, but I'll let you guys
Son of
see
a
it.
bitch.
Let me turn it up.
A large company.
If you the folks who are listening to this on YouTube, we can't play this for you, but I mean,
That's weird. They wouldn't want you to like play their trailer.
well, they want everybody to go to their trailer.
True. Oh yeah, it streams. That shit makes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
It's just so good. He just does an amazing job of the voice, the mannerisms, and so does Sam Rockwell.
Yeah. Well, they're both incredible actors. Sam Rockwell.
Did you ever see Sam Rockwell in that movie Moon? Is it The Moon or Moon? Moon.
I'm not sure.
It's a movie where he is the only person in the movie. The entire
have to check
movie is
that out.
him. I don't want to spoiler alert it, but it has to do with cloning. And it's him on the moon, like him or him in space. It's fucking amazing. It's an amazing movie.
I
And
love
it's
where
just
he was
him.
Chuck Barris.
Yes.
That was an amazing movie, man.
Dude, he's a beast. This guy is a fucking incredible actor, and he just doesn't get enough credit. I think he might be married to her now, but he was, or maybe they're still dating, but he was dating Leslie Bibb when I did a movie with her, and I got a chance to meet him, and I was a little bit starstruck. I'm a big, giant fan of that guy. But he's one of those guys that I feel like I want to say, like, dude, you're fucking amazing. Like, I don't know if anybody's telling you, because you're fucking amazing. Because there's like, you know, you hear about the great actors. You hear Daniel Day-Lewis. You hear Gary Oldman. You know, you hear Christian Bale. You hear the great actors. Faye Dunaway, Sigourney Weaver. You don't hear about Sam Rockwell. Why not, Jamie? Why not, God damn it? Maybe you will after this movie.
Maybe.
I
feel like he's never been nominated for anything.
Probably was.
Yeah, no,
Probably was for Moon.
he was nominated. Oh, a few things. That one that just came out last year, the 3 Billboards. And
Oh yeah,
Outside
yeah.
Everything,
That's
he
what I
was
was
nominated
thinking.
for
I
that.
Was he
just
nominated
remember
for that?
hearing about him. He was getting, you know, he's just one of them dudes too. Like when you're that good of an actor, you blend into these movies so good. It's not Sam Rockwell.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right,
Like you,
right.
and that's almost a compliment to the dude. Now, should he be more of the leading guy and doing those big roles? Yeah, I agree. He's an amazing actor, but he's done some really big things, man.
Yeah.
He's one of them dudes that just blends too good. You know who's another one like that? Viggo Mortensen.
Yes.
Dude, like everything he's in, you just lose it, and he's in it. Like he's that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That the one where he was the Eastern Promises.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
The Russian mob movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then what? The Year of Violence that he did. That was a good one too.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
The Road freaked me out. I turned it off when he was teaching his son how to shoot himself in the mouth. I was like, done. We're good. I don't need to watch this.
The book.
I'll watch the
that
Flintstones.
book is fucking crazy.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
I heard the book's too crazy.
Dark, man. Like it's one of the things. Like it's a taste that stays with you a little too long.
Exactly.
You know, you want it to go away.
Yeah, there's a few of those movies that are just so depressing. When you leave, you're like, what did I do? Like, I don't want to be depressed.
Dude.
I know that it was good. I know you nailed it. I know you dragged my emotions
I played
through
myself
the mud.
once on tour. It was like back when when the Tower Records and those things were still around. Like on Tuesdays, the movies and the records would all come out. So we were on tour. We would stop and buy a bunch of shit for the bus, buy records and this. I bought a bunch of movies and I threw on Magnolia. Had just come out. I watched that and I was like, oh wow, that was fucking fucked up. And then without looking, I just grabbed the next movie and put it in, and it was Titus Andronicus. And I don't know if you're aware, like hip to this. It's like one of the darkest fucking Shakespeare fucking plays ever about this. I just go if you ain't seen it. When you got the wherewithal to sit through some real fucking darkness, Anthony Hopkins is fucking insane in this movie as Titus Andronicus. It's fucking dark. So I watched these 2 movies back to back, and for 2 weeks, Joe, I can't shake the just depressing, oh my God, there's no happy endings anywhere. The world's all, From then on, I'll only watch comedies and fucking Pixar movies and old Warner Brother cartoons out there on the road,
is he
man.
eating dinner while people are hanging in front of him?
Do you want to know? You're never going to watch this, right? He's about to cut them up and make dinner out of them and serve them to their families. Like it's dark, man.
Jesus.
It's really dark. It's one of the it is the darkest Shakespeare thing I've ever read or seen.
Okay. That's enough.
And that was right after Magnolia. I watched that.
Man, a double whammy.
Double
of
whammy,
depression.
dude. Oh, it was horrible.
Remember that movie 21 Grams?
Yeah.
That movie swore me off at depressing movies. After that movie was over, I left the theater. I'm like, why did I do that to myself?
Yeah.
I was in such a good mood.
Yeah, who wants to leave a place with that feeling? Doesn't life give you that enough?
I was all happy. Feeling good. I walked into that movie and I left going, what in the actual fuck? What am I doing here?
As DJ Khaled would say, you played yourself.
Played myself. Yeah. Other people said it before him, but he's known for it. Yeah. It's funny how that happens, right? Or a dude just says something just right, and then everybody just connects it to him.
He had a string of them. He had a bunch of his little, in a meeting. He's got the New Deal alerts. He's a bastion of these little sayings that just people catch on to.
He's got a lot of good things going for him. He's unthreatening looking because he's kind of a big chubby guy. People like him because of that. There's a lot of good things going. He obviously likes
positive
shiny,
energy.
Things. Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's just
a lot of energy. Likes shiny, flashy shit that a lot
sure.
of other people like.
Yeah,
yeah,
and he can afford it.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Hashtag balling.
Yeah, got to do it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
that's part of that lifestyle.
That's a crazy lifestyle. Kanye's a part of that lifestyle too, right? But in a weird way. He's a weird part of that lifestyle.
He's never been that jewelry scene. He's not really big on.
But he's big on design and Ferraris and Lamborghinis and beautiful houses and shit like that.
I'm not that aware of like what he. I know, design. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know just from what I know of him that he longs to be Ralph Lauren. Like that's really his. Probably like if you said who is your biggest influencer, who would you want to be? Ralph Lauren.
Yeah, that's kind of hilarious. But he just loves design, right? Loves clothes.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Somebody's gotta.
I mean, he, a lot of that stuff he was doing was looking like homeless people's clothing, too. It was like derelict right out of fucking Zoolander.
Did you see that one picture that Jamie showed me? He was walking around with slides, Yeezy slides on, but they were like 4 sizes too small. Like, didn't make any sense. His like heels hanging off the back of him. Like, what?
That's the way he designed them.
Exactly. That's like he's probably trying to push a new thing.
Yeah, he's like, here.
Tiny Yeezy slides.
Here, too small for your feet.
Too small Yeezy slides.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the new look. Like, if you're crazy, you might think things like that.
It's crazy to me because there's an era of his career that I look at and I'm like, wow, man, there's a lot of genius shit he was doing musically. Like a lot of records he was doing. And then I don't know what it is, but to me now, and I don't say this really in a judgmental way, but he's a professional troll now. Just like that's the most successful people in the entertainment business now. If you're not an amazing actor or a super amazing, whatever, is like just keeping people trolling. I remember he literally dropped a song like at some point like 8 months ago where that was like poopity scoop, scoopity poopity boop. Poopity scoopity whoop. I swear. And that was the song. It lasted that long.
Yeah, Jamie came and played it for me, or he told me the lyrics, and I told him to shut the fuck up.
No, but it's like, it's the
get
spectacle.
That away from me, Jamie. You stop putting this evil in my head.
It's the spectacle. Like, I mean, I made this album here. That's music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is music.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't give a fuck anymore.
Well, you're not that guy. You've never been a I need publicity guy.
Well, here's what it is.
Yeah.
Here's what that is. It's like people like to fucking speculate about what I do or my career. You know what I mean? I've written a few songs in this life that I could go somewhere and sit down and just sit on a fucking stump and eat food for the rest of my life and never worry. You know what I mean? I could feed my family and all that off of a few songs. I make music because I love making music, and of course you want people to listen. You want fucking the more people to, you want people, I'm not saying I don't want fame or all that, but I'm not, again, one of the first things, the first time I ever came on your podcast was like, I like going to Ralph's and sitting at the olive bar and fucking getting my olives while my song's playing on the radio and the guy standing right next to me has no fucking idea. I don't mind that at all. That doesn't bother me. I love it.
Yeah, you're not a need attention kind of a guy, and some people are, and that's sort of part of their business. Like this whole Kanye, Donald Trump thing, I wonder if that's trolling. But I also wonder if what we were talking about earlier about car accidents and brain damage, I wonder if that's all part of it, too. It could be a little bit
of everything. But also the reason I say it's trolling is because there's likes and stuff. When you get to Kardashian, Kanye West levels of, and I'm sure you know this, just you have 4 fucking million Instagram followers.
I didn't start Instagram until you told me to.
I know that. But what I'm saying is like, you could monetize that shit really easily. Those 4 million people. You're not selling that shit out. These people, they are definitely monetizing that shit. Fucking when Kim Kardashian gets on there, she doesn't give you a commercial, but she'll tell you, "Oh, I'm just using this new cream on my shit." You know what I mean? Here, somebody paid her $150,000 for that post. It's like that's. So the more eyes, the better. That's really what they're monetizing. It's like if I had 10 million people on my Instagram, I could sell fucking posts.
The real problem with that is people don't believe them. But
their eyes are still on it.
If I say I like something, it's because I like it. Like and this is, people accuse me of having ads. I've never had a single ad on my Instagram. If I tell people about a product and people are like, "What do you do? Are you getting paid for this?" Like, nope. No. I just like it.
Yeah, sharing something I thought you might think is cool.
This is a cool product.
I've done it a few times, but I usually say, "Hey, I'm not getting fucking paid. I'm just telling you."
Now. I do now.
Because
I say, this is not an ad.
I like this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Plus, I ain't got enough Instagram followers to get paid.
I bet you do.
I got like 70,000.
That's all you need. Jamie was saying you need 70,000. That's the exact number.
First of all, I don't give a fuck.
I know you don't give a fuck. But if you did, if you were a chick with a fake butt, you might be able to get a little.
I might have 4 million followers if I was a chick with a fake butt.
Yeah, you might, right? You might have 20. Look at this. Kim Kardashian's got 118 million followers.
It's just wow.
Good googly moogly.
Okay, and let's say, what do they say? If you're actually good at social media, maybe 10% of your audience engages you. So that's still 10 million people that will engage with her.
That's a lot of fuck people, son.
I believe I threw that number out there just kind of.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
A lot of goddamn people. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, it's a weird business, man.
That's famous now. Like when we were young, famous was, you know, if you were on TV or the radio, you know,
right.
or, you know,
movies.
If you did something in life, wrote a book, wrote a play or a movie, you know what I mean? Invented the plane, you know what I mean? That's what got you famous. Now you just got to keep eyes on you doing fucked up shit.
I was thinking about that today while I was watching Gladiator. Because when I was watching that movie, I was thinking, in the Roman times, there was no accountability. Like for emperors, you could do all kinds of fucked up shit, and no one could do anything about it. They either killed you eventually, or you got away with it for a long period of time. But today, you know, like there's so much accountability. People find out what awful things you've done. They find out you've stolen money or had people killed or, you know, took over this or dominated that. Like to be a dictator like a Kim Jong-un, like someone along those lines. Today, you have to keep those people locked up, like, and he's barely keeping that together. They barely have an internet.
It amazes me how they can, like, you know, like there's not a whole scene there of people with the internet, like sneaking it in, and
you know what they did? Everybody rats on everybody else there. They have like a whole system of ratting on people. They have a culture of rats.
Yeah. And they believe their leader's a god or something of that nature.
They just don't want to die, man. They're scared and they're hungry and they don't have any power. And they don't have any energy because they're eating just rice and fucking starving to death.
Can't even imagine it.
When they catch those dudes that sneak across the border, you know, that make a run for it, and when they get them and bring them to hospitals and patch them up and shit, they find all these crazy parasites in them, massive malnutrition. And these are soldiers, like North Korean soldiers. They're just all fucked up. But that's a window into time. Like, if you went back into the Roman days, that's how everybody was rocking it. They were all dominating their people and using iron fist and keep these generals well fed and keep the army well fed and use it to dominate the civilians. And whew. I mean, I know Gladiator is just a movie. It's just fake and, you know, fun. But still, you got to wonder, like that. How close was that to life back then?
And how bad did it smell?
Oh,
how bad? I mean, like
tubes of shit.
There used to be a show on
street.
HBO called Rome, like where they had and they had this one scene. I remember it, like where they were all in like a public toilet,
a shittery,
sure, shittery, and they handed them like what at the time was, I guess, the toilet paper, which was like, you know, calfskin rags or something, and they fucking like wipe their ass and they walk out and throw it in a pile. It's like, how could that have smelled if that's accurate? If that's accurate, you know what I mean? Well, that looks pretty accurate.
Yeah, there it is. Roman public toilets. Oh. And they would go into like a tube, and that tube would go right down the street. Yeah.
Like, imagine how the whole city smelled, man.
Like shit. Well, that's one of the reasons why all those people got sick. Like when a disease would spread through the city, I mean, there was no sanitation. It was terrible. But I mean, how did they didn't have like flushable things, right? Nothing flushed.
I mean, they had developed aqueducts, so they just had a system of flowing water, but it wasn't pressurized or anything, so it just had to pick it up, wash it out.
One of the things that was cool about Pompeii was they had a sauna. They had figured out how to boil water, and then they had the water would go through the floor and the walls. They had like double spaced walls, so they had one outside wall and an inside wall. And the heat would go through, and it would go like through, and so you could go into this sauna, and you just like a regular sauna here, and it'd be hot as fuck in there. Yeah, there it is, Pompeii sauna. That's it. Like they figured out how to make things pretty cool for what they had, but fuck living back there. But meanwhile, tell me people aren't going to think like that 1,000 years from now about us. Those dummies shitting into a ceramic bowl and then hitting the water to flush it away. Yeah. Idiots.
I can't imagine what it's going to be like.
Dude, we installed these toilets here that shoot hot water up your butt. You know those?
up or just cleaning
it
it?
could go right in the hole.
Wow.
It shoots right in that hole. You got to be careful. It feels like you have to take a shit because it gets up in there and you're like, whoa, I have to shit again. But no, it's just the water's literally getting through the door. But it cleans your butthole so nice. And after you have one of those, you're like, why would I ever use a regular toilet? You know?
I
Jamie
remember the
says he
first time I
holds his
experienced
shit.
one of those was like in the 90s in Japan.
Yes, Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I experienced it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, it was just a few years ago. But Jamie says he holds his shit. Is that correct?
Well, preferred versus my home toilet.
Yeah, like why shit at home? If you like
Makes
kind of
sense.
have to shit, be like, I could keep this one at bay for
I
a
mean,
little bit.
honestly, I mean, like in Europe, a bidet is a normal thing in a
Yeah.
hotel room. It's not here as much.
It's not as good though. I have a bidet in my house. I never used it once. It's a magazine rack. I throw magazines there.
Wash your hands.
It's just weird. It's weird. It just doesn't work as good.
it's and I think it's more for women. Like now, like the bidet, like
It's a cooter cleanser.
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But here's something funny. Is like I just did this tour of Europe, and we started noticing like, and I'm not gonna name countries, like because I have fans and all of them. I don't want them to get upset. But we noticed there's a difference of some countries you get washcloths in your bathroom, and some countries you don't. And me and my band, came to the conclusion that from now on, whenever we come to these countries where you don't get the washcloths in your hotel room, we're not going to shake hands with people there anymore. Because
call.
why don't you have washcloths in the bathroom? I don't get it.
Yeah. What are you washing your hands with, bro?
No, you can wash your hands like this. What are you washing your arse with, man? You shoving your hand crack up there?
Right.
You know what I mean?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I don't mind if you wash your face with your hands or your hands with your hands, but I can't find a washcloth in your city.
Dude, I
it's
went
a little
to Thailand
strange.
this summer. They have garden hoses attached to the toilet. They don't fuck around with all that hot, spicy food. They know it's going to come out messy. So they give you a goddamn garden hose to clean your asshole
Where's
with.
this?
Thailand.
In Thailand.
Everywhere. Even the airport. Went to the toilet at the airport. Right next to the shit box was this goddamn garden hose. I mean, like one you would wash the car with. Like the pistol grip
With
one.
the-
Yeah. Like, and just, woo! Just get that fucker back there and woo! There it is right there. Garden hose.
Bum gun.
Bum gun, they call it.
Bum gun. Wow.
Toilet hose in Thailand. Keep yourself clean with a squirt of water. Yeah, a squirt. That shit could move a boat across a dock.
First things first.
Yeah.
Wow. The direction our conversation's taken today.
Yeah,
is-
test the water pressure before you use it. The British called the toilet hose the bum gun for a good reason. The nozzle at the end of the hose is shaped a bit like a gun with a trigger that you press to release the water. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't fuck around in Thailand.
I ain't been to Thailand, obviously.
It's beautiful there. People are so nice. It's one of the friendliest places I've ever been in my life, like universally friendly. And everybody looks at you and they all do this. They make their hands like a lotus flower. That's what they do. They don't shake hands a lot. They just touch their hands together and give you like a little bow. Yeah.
Is there washcloths?
They just their hands are tired from holding onto that hose, squeezing that bum gun.
Something.
But the food there is fucking amazing. If you like Thai food, man, you learn from the way they cook it in the motherland. With all those fresh ingredients.
I do love Thai food.
I love Thai food. Are you a spicy guy? Do you like
I
spicy?
like spicy. Oh, I've been sans being in Thailand. This spot. I was in a place in Melbourne, Australia. We spoke about earlier. The hottest Thai food I ever had in my life. Like so hot you're sweating and you can't stop eating it because the minute you stop eating it, you're gonna catch fire.
Have you ever been to Exotic Thai over on Ventura in Woodland Hills?
I feel like I have.
Ooh, super legit.
Exotic Thai.
Bunch of Thai people run it. Super nice people. Food is jamming.
I know. There's a spot right here, close, not far from the general area. Jasmine Thai.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good Thai
Yeah.
restaurants in L.A. You've been to what's that place on Sunset that's open real late?
Oh, right there next to
Toy Thai. Toy
Yeah.
Thai's great
Yeah.
too, man. That's a great late night spot. Like legit Thai food. You get it at 2:00 in the morning.
They have the
after a set at the
good Thai
comedy
iced
store.
tea. The Thai iced teas are amazing. I
That
love
shit's
them.
terrible for your diabetes, though. There's like 180 grams of sugar. That stuff, but it's so delicious.
Once a year.
So delicious.
But honestly, that's like I used to drink so much Coke That's another, when we talked about weight, that's the first thing I got rid of, man, was drinking Coca-Cola.
The weight falls off.
About 20 pounds of the 30.
Isn't that crazy?
35 now.
Just falls off.
Yeah.
You realize, like, what was I doing?
Yeah.
What was I doing to myself?
That and just a little bit of cardio, and I was like, every other day I was like, whoa, this is
I
crazy.
know.
I just lost like I said 35 now because I dropped 5 pounds out on the road that I didn't even realize, not even worth trying.
Wow. Just continuing to eat healthy.
That, and I think that food in Europe is a lot cleaner just in general.
Yep. Well, they don't have a lot of our first of all, their wheat is like what you would call heirloom wheat.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of the complex glutens in our wheat that make it a little bit more difficult to process. This is all a real thing. Like, people think there's some sort of that people are exaggerating the effects of gluten and gluten intolerance. The issue is that at one point in time, bread was different. It was just wheat was different, but it was a lower yield. So say like if you had an acre and you were planting wheat on it, you would get way less wheat out of that acre than you would with the newer wheat. And the newer wheat is just more complex glutens in it, and you get a higher yield, and so that's what they're looking for. But when you eat it, it's just harder to digest. And it's just, when I was in Italy, man, everybody's skinny. Okay, they're all eating bread, they're all eating pasta, they're all eating pizza, they're all skinny. Yeah. At the most, these dudes who don't work out, at the most, get like a little paunch. Yeah. The most, they're drinking wine every night. They got a little paunch.
They also walk a lot more than us. They also ride bikes a lot more than us. Like,
all those things.
Spent a lot of time in Holland this last trip, and I couldn't find a fat person.
They're just biking everywhere.
And they're eating cheese and bread all day.
Yeah, it's
like literally every meal is like, cheese and bread with your meal?
But they must be pissed that weed's legal everywhere else, because people used to go to Holland specifically to go to Amsterdam just to get high.
I have friends that own coffee shops over there, and they're like, yeah, there's a lot of fuckery. Well, what's going on right now is there's, if I understood what he was telling me right, Canada is investing shit tons of money with the government over there to like start growing corporate weed, and they're going to phase out the locals and take it over.
Oh,
like they're going to phase out the coffee shop because weed isn't legal in Holland.
Right.
It's decriminalized. If you own a weed shop, you can only have, let's say, 500 grams a time in the shop legally. All right. If you have a good shop, you're moving that, in a fucking afternoon.
Right.
So, and bringing weed to your shop is illegal. It's a smuggling operation.
So it has to be in there, and once it's in there, it's okay.
Once it's in there, you can sell it, but getting it to your spot is the problem. It's fucking illegal to move that much weed. It's fucked up. Like, these guys, I know a couple guys that own a couple coffee shops, and they're just like, it's fuckery, man. It's like a constant, it's like half a criminal operation they're running.
And it used to be that you get mushrooms.
You used to be able to get mushrooms. You used to be able to get like a bunch of shit.
And now you can't get mushrooms anymore.
Not like hard like narcotics like coke or anything like that, but anything natural like mushrooms. You could get acid when I was first in there, but I don't know if that was legal because I was really young.
Well, Holland's just a wild ass place. I mean, that is the spot where like some of the best kickboxing ever came from. It's weird. One little spot in Europe, and they created Ramon Deckers, Rob Kamen, Ernesto Hoost, like some of the greatest kickboxers of all time. Yeah. Out of this one spot.
There's gyms everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like, everywhere you go, you see them with like a gym.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing that this one place became a hotbed for
a real source of their pride, too, like Dutch
kickboxing.
Sports pride.
Yeah,
like football and
yeah.
kickboxing are probably the top two things.
I mean, they literally have created some of the all-time greatest kickboxers, and it's not a big country. It's really, and some of the greatest kickboxing coaches as well. It's amazing. Really unusual that happened there, and it's hard to describe why. Like, no one really.
It'd be an interesting documentary or something to figure out the roots of that. Somebody went to Thailand. Somebody brought it back from Thailand. And switched it up and put their own little spin on it.
Yeah, and a few guys went over to Thailand and fucked some Thais up too, because what they had done is they incorporated a lot of Western boxing, like Ramon Deckers in particular was one of the greats. And what he did was he was a small guy, like the same size as the Thais, which was unusual because a lot of the people from Amsterdam are big people. It's one of those places where I think the average height for a person in Amsterdam is like 6 feet tall. Yeah, so it's an unusually tall place.
Viking fucking shit going on.
Yeah, some fucking Viking DNA. I was watching that show for a while. Vikings. I got deep into that show.
That show was pretty dark.
But Mrs. Rogan got tired of seeing people get sorted up, slashed to pieces. She got bored with it.
That was pretty dark.
People just getting fucked up with arrows and cut open, and it's the whole show. They're always going to war.
They're
But that's what they
Vikings.
did.
They're Vikings.
Yeah. And they took a lot of mushrooms,
They
too.
pillage, I believe, is a
Yeah.
Viking way of life.
If you could go back in one time to, like, if you had, like, a time machine, you go back and watch one time in history, what do you think you would go to see? You'd
That's
go
a
to
good
see,
question.
like, how people lived.
Well, being very smell sensitive, it wouldn't be that far back. I'd probably want to go. No, that's not true. I'd probably like, King Arthur
Really?
era. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing. I was heavy Dungeons and Dragons kid. You know what I mean? Maybe go see if there's anything to any of that dragon shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or the Holy Grail. You know what I mean?
Any of that dragon shit. Yeah. I wonder what that was all based on. Like, why are there so many dragons in folklore? In Chinese folklore, in European folklore? There's so many unrelated dragons.
Well, I mean, there's people that have, I watch a lot of Ancient Aliens, so they'll always have an explanation. My man with the hair.
Giorgio Tsoukalos. Giorgio did the podcast a long time ago.
I love that guy, dude. He's
He's a
amazing.
good
He's my
dude.
favorite dude on that show, man.
He's a good dude. I don't necessarily agree with everything they say. But
Not everything, but there's merit to some of it, man. There's some
that
stuff
show
there.
is a show you watch with your boys at like 1 o'clock in the morning. You get baked and everybody laughs.
You ever watch the Vice version where like Action Bronson and all those
Yes!
guys are getting ripped and
Yes!
like talking about the show? It's like just
Dude.
complete fucking nonsense, but if you're high, it's fucking fun to watch.
He came on the podcast. I've never seen a dude smoke more weed in my life. He smoked by himself at least 6 blunts during the podcast while
Well,
it was
that
going
dude
on. Just
dabs
kept
so
going.
hard, man. I don't think the weed really fucks with him anymore, man. I can think it takes that much weed.
He just kept going. And I got paranoid just watching him. I'm like, oh. I mean, I smoked a little bit with him, but I mean, I got to keep this ship on the water. Like,
Exactly.
You got to let me keep my hands on the wheel, sir. Like, he just kept going. We took a photo of the ashtray after it was over. It was preposterous. It was like, look at that. That's one show. Like, that's
He's a crazy guy, man.
fun dude, though.
No, he's a good guy.
I love that Fuck That's Delicious,
I
that
love
show.
it. Yeah.
That's a great show.
He with Alchemist is a good friend of mine. I've known him since he was young, so they're good buddies. I've met him. I've hung out with him a few times. He's a really fun guy, man.
It's a unique idea for a show because, Action Bronson used to be a chef.
Yeah.
Yeah, so seeing him like interact with food and chefs, like he really knows about food. He really understands food.
Yeah. I think he should have a cooking show. He actually, can whip up some fucking mean food.
Yeah, right. Like now that Bourdain's gone, like we need more of those kind of shows that explore food. And the Bourdain show changed the way I feel about food. I used to think of food as just something that tastes really good. I didn't think of it as an art form.
Right.
And then I watched his show, and the reverence that he had for chefs and for the creation of food, it made me realize, like, oh, this is an art form that I was ignorant of. I didn't think of it the right way.
On all levels, not just like the high chef level. He
Right.
brings it to the home front where it's like even
yeah.
these local.
Look at him.
Yeah.
What's he cooking?
Some sandwich or something.
Oh, he's making sandwiches.
The world's
Yeah.
best sandwich.
No, you're right, man. Like on street food level, he loves. Tony loved street tacos and shit. He would go everywhere and buy street food.
I mean, honestly, when you're cooking, you feel like that, though. I know because now I see you cooking all the time. Whenever you're posting that shit, never invite me over to have some of that beautiful
Listen,
elk.
dude, I was gonna set it up here. I was gonna set a thing up here, but they could never figure out how to get ventilation in here. We have a grill back there that's never been used. It's just sitting back there. Look at him. He's taking a steak.
Rest a little bit. It's gonna be nice and pink in the middle and gorgeous.
He's drinking wine. I wonder why. See, this is how stony his show is. Like, they let him wear a shirt that you can't wear, so they had to blur out his shirt. That's such a stony thing. Like, hey, man, you can't wear that shirt. Oh, yo, I got it on. That's it. This is what I'm wearing, so do what you got to do.
Exactly.
So they got to follow him around. That blur thing drives me nuts. Like, what is it? What could it possibly be that's so...
But there's times when I see shit like that. Beck. All right, Beck, when he had that loser video, the first thing that comes up on the video is him in a mask that's blurred.
Oh.
Right? And I was like, what the fuck? Why
Right.
would
you wear it?
it was purposely done? Like I think sometimes maybe it's like.
So there he is
To-
right
yeah,
there.
it's like, well, what the fuck? Like,
That's
what
just
is the
Beck,
mask?
That's just Beck being a weirdo.
Yeah, but what is it? Makes you go like, but
Yeah.
what the fuck is it?
He's a fascinating guy too. You know, he's a devout Scientologist,
Yeah,
which is
his dad is an amazing string arranger, like an orchestrator, and he did a couple like of my albums where when I had string arrangements and stuff.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he's a legit musician, like
No.
a really
Beck is
interesting
amazing.
musician.
Beck
yeah.
is next level.
You don't hear about him that often these days.
Again, I think it's the same kind of thing, dude. He's not playing the game.
Right.
We just I make he makes music.
he's just an artist.
When it's time to make music, it's time to
Yeah.
make music.
Yeah. There's still, I mean,
In other words, it's for me. I'm sorry to,
No.
but it's not. It's like, okay, this is a product, this record, right? But it's not a product to me. It's like this is 8 years of my life. You know what I mean? I didn't make it because I was concerned about keeping my. Otherwise, that's why the guys that got to put a record out every year. Those are the guys I'm like, whoa, how do you fucking? That's all. That's
right.
That takes a lot to put a fucking, especially if it's going to be good. So anybody that can put out a record every year that's good, that's next level.
Yeah, well, Louis C.K. was doing that for a while with stand-up.
Yeah.
That is hard to do. George Carlin did it every year. George Carlin did a stand-up special every year. And to us, to all stand-up comics, when we all get together and talk about that, everybody kind of agrees it's almost impossible. Yeah. He did it, but very few people could do it. And not to criticize Carlin, because Carlin did it and pulled it off, but most of us feel like that's not enough time. Like you need more time to let it cook. You need more time to add and twist.
I've never had a record come out like I think the shortest period was like 2 years, 2.5 years.
And that's you probably just constantly going at it.
Yeah. Anytime I wasn't touring or something, we'd
Yeah.
be locked in a room somewhere trying to make music.
Now, when you record, when you like say if you're going to lay down an album, do you have everything completely mapped out before you go into the studio, or do you fuck around with it while you're in there?
Well, the process for this album in particular was wild because, again, when Layla was born and the disease, we found out she was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. I actually was planning to not tour or any of that anymore, but I was going to write songs. I went to Nashville, started hanging out with a few songwriters out there and wrote some stuff. One of the songs, It Ain't Easy, which I played years ago on your podcast, is on this album. So I wrote some songs with people, but the intention was they were going to be for other people. So I recorded them in a very kind of plain Jane way, not my spin on what they would have been. And after a few years, like I just never really pursued. It's too much of a sales pitch. You have to go out and like be that smooth at selling your songs, and it just never appealed to me. And so after a few years, I did an acoustic record. And then I started touring that for a while, just old songs, but recorded them acoustically. And then after that was done, and I realized, all right, I need to keep working. What am I going to do? I went back and revisited some of these songs, but I realized I have to re-record them. That's why I didn't see that they were my songs, because I recorded them in a way that I thought other people would want to use them. So I went and re-recorded about, 5 or 6 of the songs that were already here. And then my buddy Evidence from Dilated Peoples got involved with me, and we recorded a few of these rap tracks, and it started kind of coming together. And it kind of started coming together in a similar way that the original Whitey Ford Sings the Blues record did. That's why I kind of also named it what it is. There was a lot of similarities, and I feel like I just pulled everything from every part of the toolbox that I've learned from since I started. Whether it was the Ice-T years or the House of Pain years or the Whitey Ford years, I just drew on it all and tried to see. Like I said, it was the 8 years of life. It's not like a literal representation of what's happened to me, but it's an emotional journey of like all the kind of feelings and shit that I've, like a lot of struggles and a lot of, it's my best record, but 8 years right here. So I've never been in a rush.
That's a big statement that it's your best record.
It's my best record ever.
Wow.
I'm confident in it.
Is it available everywhere, like iTunes,
oh yeah,
streaming,
Spotify,
Amazon,
all that shit. Yeah,
all that
stream the
stuff?
shit out of it. I own my masters. You know what I mean?
How does that work? If you own your masters, do you get more when they stream?
Well, if you own your masters, you get paid outright. Like, you're the label. I'm my own label. So the people that complain about not getting paid by streaming are people that are signed to record deals that are getting a small piece of what the master is getting. Like, if you own the master, so streaming is viable for someone who owns the masters. Yeah. I mean, it's viable, period. I mean, kids, that's the way it is. It's just it's the future. I mean,
it's now.
But the people who say it doesn't pay, they're in shitty deals. You know what I mean? Because it pays, I would like it to pay a little better, but it pays. It pays all right.
Who was it?
I think
Crosby?
If you take 1 million streams, it equals out to around $8,000. And that sounds like it just in general, like that's the payment for what that is to a label. Like it would be around
a label.
Yeah. Like 1 million streams is about the equivalent of about $8,000. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but 1 million streams is like 1,000 guys or people, fans of yours that stream your shit, whatever, 1,000 times, 100 times, or whatever. It's not. It goes quicker than you think. Like I think Drake streamed 1 billion streams his first week.
Right.
So, that's a nice chunk of change, man.
David Crosby was tweeting about how bad streaming deals are. But that is because he has a bad deal with his label.
Doesn't own his master, if he's like recording a deal for another record for the record company, you know what I mean?
I think it's all his older songs.
Then he's probably got shit deals on that. I mean, some of my older stuff, I don't get paid on what I feel like I should, but it's like the stuff since I've owned my masters, which is the last 15 years of my life, you know what I mean?
It's fascinating for me on the outside looking at what happens with labels and how they do things. It's amazing their sort of survival instincts, how they figured out how to stay active.
Labels are signing podcasters now because of streaming. Streaming, you should be getting checks from this, Joe.
I don't allow them to stream me.
Honestly, you could.
Pandora, Spotify. I say nope.
Well, you'd probably have to be exclusive to one of them, is the deal too.
Well, either way, what they are is just.
It's not just streaming though. Your YouTube views are streaming. That's streaming. It doesn't have to be with a streaming service.
Right.
I mean, but you should have a digital company that is representing you, that's collecting all that. If you don't.
Yeah, no, I do for that.
Okay, just make sure.
Yeah, but that's like the
it's
YouTube
all streaming.
Thing, it's what the YouTube thing. The most fascinating thing about it is that there's only YouTube. That's the crazy thing. We think about how big the internet is, and there's really only one thing like YouTube.
It was a good moment they came, and the branding and everything they did. I saw I don't know if it was a documentary because it wasn't full length, but it might have been just like a little feature within a news kind of segment thing about how the original videos that were huge on YouTube were like a kid biting another kid, and like the original first for the longest time the most played video on YouTube was the Charlie biting the kid or something.
Charlie bit me.
And that's where it all came from. It almost came from America's home video, funniest home video kind of thing. YouTube kind of filled in that void for a long time. They were memes before they were memes. They were just viral videos. You know what I mean?
That wasn't that long ago. That's what's so crazy. It's like a decade ago.
And the necessity of having to change the music business is what changed YouTube, because they caught on all right, TV doesn't play videos anymore. Right. And nobody's buying records, so we got to sell. The whole thing for the longest was when the bottom had really fallen out for a while of making any money off of actual records, was you can bootleg my record and you can download my record, but you can't download the T-shirt. You know what I mean? So it became sell the lifestyle, the music became background music to the everything else. It was part of the lifestyle and the cars and this, and all I wanted you to do was really go buy this limited edition T-shirt that I'm selling you right now. You know what I mean? Right. That's the game changed into, and it's still that. You know what I mean? That's why the fuckery and the trollism and all that, because people want eyes on them, so the next thing they have the opportunity to sell, they can sell. Yeah, that's what's interesting to me about labels, is now labels get a piece of everything. They do these 360 deals. Yeah, that's Satan. Crazy. That was unheard of when I was young. You didn't get a piece of, not only T-shirt sales, they get a piece of live money. Yeah. They get it's like, how could they? It used to be like I had to pay you. It used to be like, all right, a record label would give me $500,000. All right, and I'd go and make a record with that. I could spend whatever I wanted making the record, and whatever the rest of the money left over was mine. That $500,000 was mine. I could spend it all making the record, or I could spend $50,000 making the record and pocket the rest. That was up to me. And then after that, my job, your job as a label, was to sell that record. My job was to hit the road and go tour. Right. And I go tour for a few years, and at first, I'm not even making money touring. You're giving me money to go out there and tour. It's called tour support. That used to be. and that gets added onto your bill.
You didn't get paid.
No, you would get like money for tour, but like it wouldn't cover like a bus and a band and all this. So the label would supplement that with what they called tour support, which would also become part of the debt you owed the label.
Right.
But as you built your live audience, your guarantees would go up. Sooner or later, you could stop taking that money, and then your record sales would pay that off, hopefully, if you were doing well enough. And now you got your own stream of revenue with live, T-shirts, all this other outside shit that it's yours. That's the way it was when I came up. Yeah. Now it's like that's not a deal. They want it all.
Out? How'd they sneak that in?
Well, because when Napster and shit dropped the bottom out of the record business and nobody was paying for records, labels weren't going to give you $500,000 just for your record because nobody was buying records. They want to sell your T-shirts too.
Isn't that amazing, though, that they figured out how to stay alive like that? Just because they always knew that people were going to be needy.
It all boils down to this too, and I hope somebody one day like really investigates this and makes some sort of like documentary about it. Is like they had so many opportunities to be ahead. The movie industry didn't take the same hit. They took hits and they dealt with piracy, but the music industry had a moment, if you remember, there was like some kids that got in trouble for downloading ridiculous amounts of music and their parents were being held responsible.
Yeah.
And the music industry backed off of it because the news wasn't good. The movie industry never backed off of that kind of shit. They told you, we're going to fucking sue your life off.
Some people did get sued for music, though.
But the music industry backed off, though. They didn't keep the pedal down and keep the foot on the neck like you're going to steal this. This costs... You got to remember, back then, if I would have got $500,000, I probably would have spent up to $2 of that on a record. $200,000 just on the making, studio time, whoever's got to be involved, engineers, producers, $200,000 off top. That's minimum we would have spent on a record. And then you go out and people steal it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the same,
Did you ever download shit for free?
My thing, not at first. My thing became later like, okay, this is the wave, whatever. But if my philosophy was if I downloaded your shit and I liked it, I'd go buy it.
Me too.
Like if I downloaded it and it was trash, then hey, I looked at it as like a taste test.
That's
okay.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, maybe if more people adapted that, things would have. But again, the record industry had plenty of opportunities to jump ahead of it and be. They didn't. There was technology out there already that people were dealing with, bringing it to them, telling them this wave is coming.
So what
and
do
the
you think
record
they
industry
did
was
wrong?
making so much money at that time. If you look at the amount of money they were making off of the boy bands and the Britney Spears and all. It was retarded how much money was in the record business, and they let it all go down the drain because they thought they had all the answers and they thought it had all the money. You know?
What could they have done to stop it?
I'd have to go back. I have some like books on it.
Something
there was
like
technological
get paid for streaming.
people. There were people ready there to help set up things like Napster and how to monetize it and control it. Like there was ways to deal with it. There were ways to be part of it instead of like wait till it was too late.
Well, the thing about the movie industry too, though, is that like people want to go to the movies. Like the experience is not as good.
Apple Music saved the music industry. Like Apple at first, iTunes. Why didn't the record industry? Like there were people telling them this is coming, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but they could have made iTunes first, not called iTunes, but like the record industry itself should have digitized and been ready. Right. It would have been that simple.
Come up with their own version of iTunes.
Right. And they could have invested a lot more money.
The music industry is booming, but artists are losing big.
Because most artists are signed to record deals.
With just 12% of revenue. 12%. Whoa. $43 billion a year was its most profitable year since 2006.
Yep.
Listeners are spending more money than ever, largely on streaming and live music, with consumer spending totaling more than $20 billion last year. Wow. Yet artists aren't feeling the increase. Of that $20 billion, music industry entities such as record labels took home $10 billion. Musicians taking home just $5.1 billion, with the majority of the revenue coming from touring and concert sales. It's amazing. That's amazing that it's like a parasitic industry. It's like people don't necessarily need them the way they used to need them.
Not like they used to. I was going to just play devil's advocate and say, well, it used to be that I'm the guy that put up all the if I'm the label,
Right.
I'm putting up millions of dollars in
Right.
advance, gambling it on you.
Right.
Now when you win, you want to take away my lion's share? No, fuck you. Now it's totally different. Now you can do this on your own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could start an Instagram, start a YouTube, start this, and you can make beats on your laptop in your
like Chance the
living room.
Rapper, right? Isn't that the guy who does everything? Everything he's done is his own shit online?
Sure.
Sure?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, you don't believe it? What do you mean?
Not exactly.
Oh, Jamie's got a conspiracy theory?
Not a conspiracy, but he's got more support than he would say.
Now he does?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, now he does maybe. But I mean, basically he's become huge all on his own, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you look, it's like so many viral music hits. You know, they get big online just because kids share it and they like it, and then it becomes gigantic. Like with the music industry, the labels have nothing to do with that, right?
No, there's labels that are doing their thing out there that actually know what they're doing and marketing wise and all that. There's still a lot of kids that are being made, famous by labels.
So there's some benefit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of the reasons some of these artists are only seeing 5.1 minutes because they're signed to record deals. Jay-Z ain't only saying 5% of what he's due because he's been in the game long enough. And they started out with their own label. They started in the beginning. Rockefeller Records was independent, so that's the kind of those kind of guys are never going to lose as long as they can still make music that people buy.
Yeah, they figure out a way to rope you in early too, where like even if your record is successful, the second record, it's not like you're going to be able to be independent on the second record. They own you for several down the line, right?
Usually, I mean, it used to be. I think the standard was like 8.
8 albums.
But it's misleading because it depends on where you're from too. There's also like, if your first record is very successful and you have a lawyer that has any wherewithal, you're renegotiating before you do the second record. You know what I mean? These are things you learn. But like if you're struggling, that 8 record thing too, also if you study the record business, it goes back to like when actually artists used to be built that like over nobody expected the first album to do anything. Like when they would sign bands, like in the '60s, like they had a plan. Like by album 3 and 4, here's where we'll be. They used to build artists. There used to be A&R. They actually used to nurture and fucking take care of a band for a long time and watch them grow. That's the way it used to be until like whatever it was. I maybe the '80s it changed.
I had a record deal for my comedy album in 1999. I had a record deal with Warner Brothers. It was like a real record deal. Like I met with them, they promoted it, the whole deal. It was like I went through the whole record industry business.
Yeah, there was always a comedian or two on labels.
Yeah, they don't have that anymore. I mean,
because
comedy albums,
you do it yourself.
Well, it's not just that. You definitely can do it yourself, but comedy albums just aren't that popular anymore for some strange reason.
Well, because it's
a piss poor way to view the art form. You want to watch it.
Exactly. I was about to say it's so visual that now comedy albums were big when everybody didn't have a TV screen or everything. Right. It's like you could listen and imagine what he was doing or something.
But some guys translate super well. Like Mitch Hedberg translates amazing to CD, to just audio only, because he basically just stands there and tells great jokes. Like he doesn't have it's fun to watch him, more fun to watch him, but once you know what he looks like and how he does it, it's like kind of cool to listen to it on the albums.
I was just talking about Stephen Wright the other day too.
Stephen Wright was a genius.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah, but that style is hard to do. See, what Mitch Hedberg basically did was do that Stephen Wright style, but like a more stony drug style.
Yeah.
But the drugs allowed him to come up with way more of those things. Hedberg could just go on for days. He had so much fucking material, man. That guy wrote constantly. He was always writing till the end. In the end, the drugs got to him. Obviously, they killed him. But he was that's a non sequitur style. That's the hardest style of comedy. You say one thing, and then you say something totally unrelated to the next joke, and the next joke's totally unrelated.
No sequencing or...
No, man. And it's all...
Segues, I'm sorry.
No
is the word. I was
segues.
sequencing.
Yeah.
That's an album.
But sequencing, too, it's like they don't fit in together in any way, shape, or form. They're just total non sequiturs. Just here's a funny thing I thought of. Here's another funny thing I thought of. But his style was so unique. Just the way he delivered things was so unique. He was funny just talking about nothing, like talking about anything. One of my favorite jokes of his, he goes, somebody asked me if I want a frozen banana. I said no, but I want a regular banana later, so yes. That's just such a silly joke, but it's such a great joke.
That's a stoner joke for
sure.
Oh,
man, all day. He's got like one of the best. His albums are some of the best stoner material of all time. Maybe the best.
You're gonna make me go listen to some.
Oh, he was incredible, man.
Oh, I'm familiar. I just haven't listened to it or heard any of it.
I'll throw him on every now and again when I'm on my way to the airport.
I used to listen to on Sirius all the time, the comedy channel, the dirtier, darker one, the more grown up one, and he'd pop on there every once in a while.
Yeah. I haven't had Sirius in forever. Do you still listen to that?
No, because I don't really. Honestly, my favorite thing in the car is silence.
Really?
Yeah, like by myself. Like I get a lot of thinking done driving. Like if I'm ever really like stumped while I'm working on a song, like because I don't write things down or anything, I'll get in the car and drive, and somehow it'll work itself out. I can really just relax behind the wheel.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Unless I'm in like the middle of like fucked up traffic. I mean, like at night, I can get in the car, I could drive on an open road, and it really relaxes me.
I have a car that I take to the comedy store all the time, and it's a 1993 Porsche. It doesn't have any radio. No radio. It's manual transmission. No power steering. No air conditioning. It's just an old car, and everything, like when you drive it, you feel every bump, and it's like, and you shift it. But because of all that, I have to think, and it fires my brain up because I'm doing all these different things, hitting the clutch, shifting the gears, managing this heavy steering wheel and all that jazz. And when I get to the store, my brain is like charged up because of it. It's like I've been doing a bunch of things.
It's like exercising your brain.
Yeah, I'm not like in the back seat sleeping. Waiting to get to the show, and then I gotta wake myself up.
I love to drive.
You still got that crazy Audi?
No, not right now. I just bought a truck actually, and I got a CLS 63S. Yeah, it's nice. I just couldn't bring the kids in the Audi, but I miss it so much. I'm actually about to get another one. So
they have a new one.
Yeah, I know.
It's a beast of a car.
What do you think? I'm sitting here like, oh shit. I was like, all right, I got to hit the road for about 3 months. I'll be back for that car.
It's an amazing car. Yeah, it's a good time if you're into cars. They got a lot of crazy ass fucking automobiles now.
Yeah, when I did have the RA, man, I would just like, and then I lived much further south. I actually lived off the 15, like below the 91. And when I would shoot to sometimes out to Vegas for fights, I would just jump in the R8 like on a Thursday night, like 11 o'clock. I'd be there by 2. I'd get there in like 3 hours. Like
Jesus.
I mean, I was already on the 15. I wasn't coming from deep LA.
Still, Jesus.
Yeah. But I do like a fucking $130 the whole way.
Dude. God damn it. That's fast. That's a 4-wheel drive car too. That car's glued to the ground.
It's like on fucking rails, man. It's one of my favorite cars I've ever driven.
Yeah, it's in the style, like it's still relevant. Like they've kept that style basically with just a few facelifts and improvements for a few years.
I mean, it's essentially like a mini Lamborghini, right? It's the same engine.
Yeah, it's the Gallardo. The same engine as the Gallardo. It's a V. I mean, it's more than enough power. The crazy thing about today's cars is they have so much power. It's just ridiculous. Like every year, it's like a new faster 0 to 60 time, new records on the Nürburgring. It's like, what are you doing? Like, where are you taking this? Like, where are you going to drive this thing that fast?
It's going to be teleporting soon.
The new Corvette ZR1 has 700 and something fucking horsepower.
Yeah, how does it even stay on the?
It barely does. One of the drivers from GM, one of the head execs from GM, took it on a racetrack like when they were first releasing it and crashed, like immediately spun out and slammed into the fucking wall.
That's great.
I mean, you got to know what the fuck you're doing if you're throttling. I mean, you have to be able to navigate that throttle with 700 horsepower because no matter what, those wheels are spinning. No matter how much, especially rear wheel drive, no matter how much traction control. Do you ever see that video? Find the video. It's fucking hilarious. It's a good video to watch to let you know, like, this is a crazy vehicle that you people are selling. You're letting people get a car that is so much faster than anything that was on the road 5 years ago. I mean, it's a fucking insane mobile.
And the speed limit ain't changed.
No.
You know where that car comes in handy?
GM,
Germany.
Yeah, GM exec crashes new Corvette ZR1. I mean, this was before it was even released. This dude showed everybody what the problem is.
He ain't sent me, man.
I got an extra one.
He ain't sent me that one. Funny, I was talking about this guy, and I liked a picture of his so long ago, and then
here it is. Look at this guy. Boom. Play that again.
Oh my goodness.
Watch this. Play it from the beginning, this knucklehead.
It started too quick. I'll see if there's more angles on the
No,
video,
no. Look at this. Right away. This is this guy. Hey, I know how to drive. I'm a fucking executive. Shit.
Wow.
Yeah, he's driving like an asshole. He doesn't know how to drive.
He just,
Sorry,
he
sir.
just put the foot down. And
Yeah. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Dumbass. Look, that's a car that you have to know how to navigate when the ass end kicks out too. He was just stomping it.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Crash.
I'm sure he got
He felt like
a nice amount of shit at the next board meeting.
Well, he should. Look at that fucking car, though. Good Lord, what a beast of a
What are
car.
they retailing for?
It's more than 100. I think it's like 150, 160,000.
Damn.
Probably fully loaded, but it is a monster.
It looks good.
Monster car.
I like what they've done to the body style.
See, but you know where your R8 has a huge advantage? Your R8 is a four-wheel drive car, and 755 horsepower. Good Lord. Good Lord.
That's insane.
Good Lord. But the problem is it's hard to keep all that power down on the ground with a rear-wheel drive car. You're just going to get a lot of sliding. And if you know how to drive, you like that. People who know how to drive, they want the kick the ass end out sideways.
Yeah.
But like if you drive say a Nissan GTR is a perfect example. One of the best things about that car is a regular person can drive it pretty fast because there's a lot of electronics and what they would call nanny controls that sort of keep everything in order. So that car has been around for a long time. They really haven't changed a whole lot about the way it looks. But they've made these incremental improvements in performance. And to this day, that is one of the beastiest cars you could drive. That car is a motherfucker. I rented one of those in Austin last year. Holy shit, was it fun. It's a crazy car. It's like it defies logic. Like it defies physics. That's the Nismo one. You don't want that one unless you want to take it to a track because that shit's harsh as fuck. You just want the regular one. The regular one is beastie enough. They're amazing cars though. All the pop-up windows trying to get you to buy it. Come on, buy it.
Buy this.
Come on, buy it. But really, if I was going to get a brand new Japanese car, the real car to get now is the new NSX. The new NSX, TJ Dillashaw has one. He brought it in here, and I was checking it out outside. Fuck, man. It's got electric engines on top of the regular engines. It's an amazing car. Just fucking amazing. And it's gorgeous.
Oh, the Acura. Okay.
And they have a 2019 one that's coming out that has even more improvements. But it's hard for them to sell these cars because, like, look at how good that looks. Look how good that looks. God damn.
I'm still kind of partial to the Audi.
Audi's a beast.
Yeah, I love it.
Look, it's apples or oranges. It's just what you're into. TJ's got that color too, that blue. Pull up 2018 Audi R8.
This is 19.
Oh!
This is 19.
Oh! Look at that.
That's gorgeous.
Come on, son. You got to get silver too because it looks like a fucking spaceship. That's a monster car. Look how beautiful that is. That's one of the best looking cars I've ever seen.
What are they, like $182?
Something like that. Monster vehicle. Just ridiculous performance.
Good looking car.
Yeah, and easy to drive too. It's one of those cars that's just it's glued to the ground, 4-wheel drive, electric power steering or electric engines controlling the wheels, crazy brake systems, amazing. Look at that. God damn it. Look at that fucking thing.
Crazy.
159 cheesemos. That's a lot of cheddar.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow. But it doesn't have the sound that your car had. See, the thing about the Audi is they have that big ass fucking V8 or the V10, depending on which one you get. That
V10. So much fun.
That's a different thing, man. It's a different thing. What is that beast?
The new R8.
Ooh, what the fuck? 2019 R8 LMS. Oh, that's the race car. That's a monster.
That's gorgeous.
Pull up 2019 Audi R8. People get mad when we talk too much about cars. I can't even afford these cars, bro. Why are you talking about these cars? See,
Because it's fun.
that must be the camouflaged one.
I actually heard, or I saw on Twitter someone posted a picture. They saw one like this driving around with like this weird paint job.
I've seen
Like,
that. Yeah. They drive them all over cities and everything like that to test them. Yeah, they do that for quite a long. I've been around a few of those cars.
You ever see the one that they'll do it with regular cars? I remember when the PT Cruiser.
Yes.
When that was first, like long before it came out, like about a year before it came out, they would see this ugly fucking thing driving around with these magnetic like covers all over it, like so you couldn't see the car, but you could totally tell what the shape was.
Right.
It's fucking hilarious.
Nobody gives a shit about that car anyway.
Like what, they're gonna steal your design?
Yeah. Well, no one's stealing that
It was
design.
such a shitty car.
Dude, I drove one once. I rented one because it looked kind of cool. I said, I'll take one of those. That's kind of cool looking. Oh my God, what a death trap. I was driving. I was like, this thing has zero control. Like, you can't corner in it. The brakes suck.
It's just
what's
built
worse?
to look like an old surfer car.
Way worse. I rented a Hummer H3 once.
I would never even.
Oh, good Lord. And I took it on a dirt road. I was in Colorado. We drove up this hill, the dirt road. Like, every time I was going around a corner, it was kicking out sideways. That thing had, like, zero traction. It was a terrible car.
Did you ever drive a Prowler?
Oh, never. No. Interesting side bit. Chip Foose designed that. Same guy who built my Barracuda. Or designed my Barracuda, not built it. Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah, disgusting vehicle.
That was like the Hot Wheel you hated.
Right, you're like, get this one out of here, man.
That was the Hot Wheel you put a firecracker in.
Yeah, give me that old Corvette. Fuck this little thing. Yeah, they tried those. They tried those for a while. Yeah. It's an interesting time for cars, though, now. And people are starting to go towards electric cars. Have you driven a Tesla yet?
No.
That's a goddamn space machine. Those things are rocket ships. They're so fast, they don't even make any sense. They don't make any sense. They're 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds.
That's crazy.
They're so fast. There's
hip to that.
There's no gears, right? Because there's no the transmission is not the same. Because it's not a combustion engine has to feed in the transmission, the clutch, and all
I guess
that.
it's
stuff.
kind of like when you just
That Roadster.
press forward on the remote control cars, right? It's just
Exactly.
Yeah,
Just
that
goes.
kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Just electric car that goes 1.9 seconds, son, 0 to 60. What in the actual fuck? And it can go 620 miles before you have to charge it.
That's crazy.
That's going to be a monster.
That is. Yeah. And how long you got to wait to get one?
Probably a while.
Maybe you got a word in with your buddy.
Yeah, but it's not ready yet. It's 2020. They're not even going to start selling them. I don't even think they're not even in production. Meanwhile, he shot one off into space. Look how pretty it is, though. God, when that thing comes out, that's a gorgeous car.
That's a CGI though, right?
No, that's
the real
car.
That's probably the one they made.
Remember they had one they shot into space? Look at that. Look how fast that fucking thing goes. 1.9 seconds, 250 plus miles per hour. I mean, what the fuck? That's going to be one of the most amazing cars ever once it actually comes out.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Save up your cheddar. 200 G's. Whoa. 250 fully loaded. Whoa.
Yeah, it's just a quarter brick, dog. That's it.
Founders Series reservation. What does that mean?
I don't know. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, that guy was a weird guy to talk to because I couldn't get over all the stuff he does. I'm like, how do you do all these different things? How do you make these, and then you make roof panels, and then you like drilling tunnels, and then you're shooting rockets into space?
SpaceX.
Yeah, like, he's doing everything. He's just
Maybe he's an alien.
He said he was. Maybe we should listen. Said he was an alien.
He might be. Might be a higher thinking life form.
Well, he might as well be, right? If he was an alien and he looked exactly like that.
I'll be honest, when he grabbed a joint and the way he kind of looked at it, I was kind of like, it seemed kind of like a guy who was kind of like, oh, I'm not familiar with this practice, but.
Or maybe he's so smart that he thought it would be funny if he pretended he didn't know what a joint was.
Could be. I didn't
Right?
think he didn't know what it was. I'm just saying, as he was about to partake, he kind of had this real inquisitive, like.
Yeah, but that was the part. It was a blunt. And he almost seemed like he didn't know what a blunt was. Like, you've never been around
I could believe that.
Really?
I can believe that.
The glass tip could have thrown him off because that's a little unique if you're not familiar.
Not everybody is hip to weed culture, man, as we think. You know what I mean?
Right, but when he said that Tesla was going private, funding secure at 420, which he had to
didn't
pay
realize that.
$20 million for that joke. That joke cost him $20 million. The SEC got mad at him. They fined him.
Yeah, well, it's also manipulating your stock prices a little bit.
Well, that was one of the
You
things
can
that
send your shareholders into a panic. You know what I
Jamie
mean?
was concerned that they were going to contact us and see if we arranged that pot smoking part. Like if that was something that had been arranged in advance because it crashed the stock. And I was
Yeah,
like,
I read all the
Jesus.
stories. I was like, Joe Rogan making noise out here.
I was like, oh, Jesus, we didn't do that, did we? I definitely didn't. Yeah, that was organic, folks. If you
Dude, that
listen,
was amazing, dude. That was amazing.
Strange.
That's what this podcast is for.
Yeah, for strange shit. Strange moments that you can't get on NBC. Well, you can't even get it on Netflix. You know, I mean, look what Norm Macdonald's show on Netflix. Like he's got that thing that he's doing on Netflix. Netflix is probably the most unrestricted of all networks, of all things you're trying to do. And in terms of comedy, there's nothing ever been like it. It's the greatest thing. Netflix for sure is the greatest thing that's ever happened to stand-up comedy ever.
I can see that.
Never been
Get
a
just
company
about any
that,
special you want.
they give you no feedback. They don't fuck with you at all. They don't censor you. They don't tell you what to do. They have some people have said some things that they wanted to edit out.
Well, it's a
but it
numbers
has to
game
be
too for
like-
them.
Has
You
to
know
be
what
like way across the line before they
They know
step
what
in.
Joe Rogan numbers are. That's when they come to you and they say, "Here's your special. We're going to do this." They know what they know who you are, what you do. They know they're signing with you or doing their special with you because they know how many eyes you're going to bring to the channel.
Yeah, they know what they're doing, but it's still that just having this ability to have something streaming. It's like there's never been like if you were a person who said, "Oh, I want to do a show on this network," forget about Netflix. Like if you just decided, that's almost like I don't want people to watch this. I want people to watch it one time.
Right.
I want it to be on 10 p.m. Saturday, October 17th, and that's it. Like, who the fuck wants that? Like, nobody wants that. You want someone to be at the airport with their phone and be going, I want to go watch the Chris Rock special. Let me check it out right now. Bam.
It's amazing.
And then you're sitting there on your own just watching it.
There is no live TV and all that's going the wayside.
It's useless.
It's
I see commercials now, I start laughing. Like,
why?
ha ha, you fucking dinosaurs with your bullshit ass commercials.
Yeah.
I just finished Ozark. Did you finish it?
the second season. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. I just started the second season. I'm on second episode.
It's so good.
I'm on the episode where they just where the guy blew the hand off.
Oh,
I'm early on.
Don't you should spoiler alert that, sir.
What? Nobody knows why, when, or how.
Don't. There's people out there.
I'm just saying.
Netflix is killing it. Stranger Things. You ever watch that show?
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for the next season. Yeah.
God damn.
Netflix, here's what Netflix is for me and my wife. That's like one of our things. We find a show to spend some time together. It just helps.
We do that too, yeah.
Ozark, she found. Stranger Things, I think I found. But yeah, that's our thing. Ozark has been kind of tough for us because we watched the first episode of season 2, and then I went on tour for a month. So we just watched the second one the other night. Yeah, so it's like, and I gotta leave now. So it's like, and we don't have time to binge the whole thing. So
is there any other good ones that I need to know about? People occasionally tweet me ones and I forget.
There's a weird German one called, I think, Dark. I mean, it's subtitled and stuff, but it's crazy.
Well, Black Mirror, of course.
Oh yeah, Black Mirror.
That's the shit.
I watched all of those.
The shit. But that is a weird one. That's one of those ones that I watch like I'm stoned. I come home from the Comedy Store and I'm smoking a little weed, and I watch that and I'll go, why am I watching this before I go to bed?
You were talking about the Star Trekking one, and that's what made me go look at it. And I was like, let me go look at it again, because I think I watched it in the beginning. I think I tried early on, and it was the one where the politician had the fuck.
The fuck the pig?
Yeah. So, and that kind of just was like, all right, whatever, this weird shit. And I probably just wasn't, I was like, I don't want to. But then when you told me about that one, I went back, started there, and that was the last season. Then I worked my way back and actually got to that one again and rewatched it. And I was like, oh, these are all pretty crazy.
Did you see Heavy Metal? Did you see that one? That's the one with the drones coming after people?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's too close to home.
I binge watched Black Mirror pretty tough over a just 2 or 3 day period, and for a couple weeks I was convinced I'm living in a simulation, after watching especially the dating ones where it's like they just keep me. It's like that shit blew my mind a little bit.
That was another thing that Elon Musk freaked me out about. He was saying it's quite possible that we are living in a simulation.
Oh, dude, I'm always playing with that idea. Is it like you posted something the other day that was like something on it was the Trump thing with was that a real T-shirt, by the way?
It's a real T-shirt that you can buy, but it's not from Donald Trump's store. It's a company that's selling them. It's like trumpstore.shop. Yeah, so it's
But you
not
wrote like we're
his,
living in a movie. I was
but
like,
just
yeah,
the fact
this is
that
like a
someone's
simulation.
selling that.
This is like
Just
crazy.
the fact that people are like, that's fake news. It's not fake news. It's a real shirt. I know it's not his, but eat the fact that that's a shirt. It says I like beer, and it has a guy who's they're trying to put this guy in the Supreme Court. It's fucking hilarious.
The whole world is hilarious.
The whole world's hilarious.
It's all fucked up.
Yeah. Well, this is one of the cool things about Black Mirror is like Black Mirror is showing you like where some things could go in a total dystopian way. Like where did you see Crocodile? See that episode?
Crocodile. Is it? Give me
That's the one where you can record memories and they check
I've seen
your
all of
memories.
them. I just don't know the titles.
This lady, remember this lady? Remember this lady with the car accident in the beginning and
Insurance company.
remember this?
Yes.
Remember this? That's the darkest of the dark ones. That one was so fucked up. That one wrecked me. Oh, that was the one where the people could rewind each other's memories and play back.
DVR thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Which
was
is
crazy.
all that is coming.
Oh, that's easily coming.
All this shit is coming.
Then there's the one where it wasn't super dark, but it was where the chick was trying to up her status in the world.
Yes.
Get her stars up.
The Star Trek one's my favorite, I think. That one was fucking amazing.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It was amazing. And it's just, and that is this sort of weird blend of current reality and a possibility of
where it was the chick
simulation.
wakes up and like she doesn't know where she is, who she is, whatever, and everybody's recording. She's the murderer. That was a crazy one too, man.
It's a fucking amazing show.
That sounds good.
Yeah, if you hadn't mentioned the Star Trek one, I probably never would have revisited
God,
that.
it's so good. There's so many good shows now. What else is good? What else I need to know about? Anything?
Have you
Jamie?
seen? It's not a show. It's I think a documentary-ish. It's like kind of like half documentary, and then they did some like recreations. It's called Wormwood.
No.
It's all about the acid CIA, MK Ultra program and
Is
shit.
that a Netflix thing?
It's on Netflix. Yes, Wormwood.
Jesus.
Oh, you got to check it. It's dope.
You know what my favorite one they did? You know what Operation Midnight Climax is?
It
The
sounds
CIA,
familiar.
they ran a brothel, and they gave Johns, the guys would come to the fuckery, and they would give them acid to run tests on
They
them.
love to give people acid for shit.
Back
man.
in the 50s, they didn't know what acid did.
They were just like,
It's
here,
called
take
Wormwood.
this.
Wormwood.
Wormwood, yeah. It's really good, man. It has like a really good actor like playing the main role, like when they do the recreations. You'll recognize him. I forget his name, but he's been in that. He was in that movie about the Marines with Gyllenhaal. Where they were in Iraq. He was his partner.
Zero
in the
Dark
Snipers.
30?
Jarhead.
No,
Jarhead?
Jarhead. Yeah, he was his partner in Jarhead. He was that guy. He's in a lot of stuff. I can't remember his name. But he's a really good actor, though.
There's just almost too much good shit to watch today.
Oh yeah. Another one I watched because of you was the documentary Wild.
Wild Wild Country.
Wild Wild Country. And then it all started coming back. Like I remember that news when we were like when I was young. Like
I
this
don't
guy.
remember that at all.
I like started being like, oh man, I kind of remember this.
You know, I've been reading.
You know
his
what I just
book.
watched?
What?
3 Identical Strangers. Oh, dude, about
is
the
that?
triplets. Oh, dude, I can't even. I'm not going to spoiler it. Go watch that.
Is that a Netflix thing too?
It's if it's not on Netflix, I got it on. I rented it on iTunes for like $5.
3 Identical Strangers.
Yeah, yeah. It
Don't
might
tell
not
me
be on
anything?
Netflix.
All right.
No. But
Write
it's
this down.
basically some triplets that were separated at birth, and did I say birth? Birth. At birth, and the story and that's the first 20 minutes is amazing. After that, it gets crazy, like and dark.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This come back on too.
Oh yeah, Making a Murderer. Is that Netflix? 3 Identical Strangers.
It didn't say. It says a documentary. I don't know if
It could be.
Well, Wild Wild Country is just goddamn amazing.
It was a CNN film, so it could be on Netflix
Oh,
too.
okay.
But right now it's on iTunes and you have to rent it, so I don't think I found it on Netflix.
You know what's weird about Wild Wild Country, and it's weird about all these crazy sex cults. It's like part of it you go, yeah, like they got something going on that's right. Like they're figuring out something. Like they're a little bit.
What I couldn't figure out about that was where was the flashpoint where this guy became this guy? Like what was the thing he did that make everybody believe? Because that was never made clear to me.
Right.
I never understood. Like, okay, I can understand people getting this excited about it, but what was the thing that he did or said or that? And I never understood that part of it.
I've been reading his book, and it's actually pretty interesting. I actually have it right here. The Art of Living and Dying, and he wrote this book after.
Bhagwan?
Yeah, he wrote this book after he became Osho, or maybe they published it after he became Osho. But it's a very good book. It's weird. He's like he had some very good idea. Oh, you know what? I think I left it at home. Oh no, here it is. He had some very good ideas. Like it's like like philosophically, he's a fascinating guy. Or he was a fascinating guy. And there's real good evidence that his followers fucking poisoned him. Like, there's a lot of people, I shouldn't say there's real good evidence. There's a lot of people that followed the case very closely that believe that people close to him may have poisoned him and taken his money. So the whole thing, the whole thing was just a massive mind fuck. Those houses are still there in that place. Like that ranch that those guys set up there. Yeah, they're all beaten down. They showed at the end of the documentary. And you're like, whoa.
There's an interesting another dude. I don't know if you ever heard of him. A guy named Dr. Malachi York.
No, who's that guy?
He did this. He started in New York doing this sort of Islamic sect thing he did, and then he brought it into like aliens and ancient Hebrew stuff. He brought all this stuff together, all these philosophies, and he made this utopian like society in like Georgia.
Oh, boy.
But like the dude was like doing mad criminal shit, and they got him. I don't know if there's any movie about this.
Look at him. Look at his smile.
Yeah. But this dude was like,
make that picture bigger. Look how smiley he is.
Yeah, it's an incredibly crazy story.
Damn, they put him away for 135 years.
Yeah, he was doing some stuff like sex cult stuff was going on with stuff in it. And
it always becomes that. Wow. Who lied on him to put him in jail for
it's so because I've never seen definitive. I've read this and that, so it's like there's motherfuckers who say it was like he set up and all this shit, and that he had such a perfect society going that nobody wanted that would succeed. But I'm pretty sure it's been proven that the dude was doing some pretty criminal shit.
Here's two things that seem to happen. Whenever anybody runs any kind of crazy cult or any sort of like weird community outside the norm, it always becomes sex. It always becomes like the dude says, "Hey,
I think that's what got him
we don't need this."
Yeah, I think that's what got him in trouble. I feel like I remember some like it being some sexual. Yeah, there it is.
What are you saying, Jamie?
Sex with children. Okay, yeah,
Jesus.
that's what they got him.
But if they wanted to bust him on something, if they really wanted to bring him down, that's what they would accuse him of. You can't.
True.
Once someone accuses you of sex with children, even if you're not guilty,
it's on you.
On you forever.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like no one has ever pulled off like a utopian alternative society. Never. It's crazy. It's really interesting because the entire history of the United States, no one's been able to do it. Like they try it. They'll try it for a little bit, and then it falls apart. Every single one of them. That's amazing. It's amazing that no one, whether it's Waco, no one.
It's like this. I look at it like the line from The Matrix. It's like, our first version of The Matrix kept failing because it was all too good and too nice. We had to fuck it up a little for everybody to accept it.
Wow. It's just, to me, it's quite fascinating that, we stick to a standard way of living, which is, our modern industrial Western civilization. And that is it. And any deviation of that is scrutinized to the point where it's dismantled and the government steps in. They always have guns, too. They always have guns and
way too many guns
because they want to protect their way of life. And then someone's banging people's wives and taking all the money. Fascinating. It's weird that not one has figured it out. Not one group has just got it nailed.
Well, it's probably part of the thing that power corrupts. You can't have one person that's like the almighty know-it-all of a thing, because he's going to take advantage, and then somebody smart within the clique is going to say, hey, this is not right, and it's going to fall apart.
And it always is one person.
Or there's going to be a person underneath that wants that position and is going to do something to get it.
But it's always like one charismatic person that seems to lead these things. Like whether it's Jonestown or whether it's Waco.
Charles Manson.
Yep. Yeah. It's always one dude. It's like, this society's fucked up, man.
You can take that and apply it to Hitler.
Yep. Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One guy gets everybody's attention, and next thing you know.
Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? Like this desire to have like a big daddy who got all the answers, who's better than us, because we're all so confused. It would be very comforting if someone came along who really understood it all.
Yeah.
I've got the solution.
I have
And
the
especially
answers.
if they have a big-ass, giant, crazy white beard like Osho did, and then they bow to you everywhere.
Or if their answers blame the people you want it to blame, that make you, you know what I mean? That's
makes you
another
feel
good
good.
technique, is to make sure, all right, what does everybody want to be? Okay, that's what we're going to blame
Yep.
it on. We'll focus our hate.
Capitalism, the
Let's
government.
not, you know, a lot of these things don't work out because they have to be based on what we talked about earlier.
Yep.
Doing unto others as you want them to do. You truthfully living that lifestyle.
Yep.
All right. When it doesn't happen like that, it's cats get the power, they get in charge, they want to keep that power, they want to stay in charge.
Always.
You know, and they're not going to treat other people the way they want to. They're going to start intimidating people because that's the way you keep people in line.
Yeah. Always.
People want to be, you know, subjugated, man. Like you're saying, they want somebody to babysit them and know, oh, I can just sit over here and just be dumb. Okay, cool.
And if no one was in charge, someone would come along that would want to be in charge.
Absolutely.
Someone would say, you know what the problem with this organization is? There's no leadership. We need a strong leader. We need someone who respects the values and principles this society was founded on, but someone who also understands how to be a leader. And then people go, yes, yes,
That makes so much sense.
yes, guide us.
They just want to. It's the same thing. It's what goes on Instagram. Everybody wants to believe everybody's got that guy's got his shit together.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's got his shit together, man. Fuck, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
Not knowing that, like, behind the scenes,
He's falling apart.
he's falling the fuck apart, man.
I know,
You
they're
what
just trying to make it look like they got their
I
shit
had
together.
a friend recently, no names or anything, but like a friend in a couple you would never, ever in your life think they were I mean, I was like, man, I just want to have a relationship like yours. You know what I mean? And no fuss or mess or anything. One day, I just turn around and they have their Instagram names are different. And all of a sudden, I call him, what's up? And he's like, oh, yeah, it didn't work.
We couldn't fake it anymore.
And it was like, I don't know if it's that serious, but something, it was like, just shows you none of that shit is real because we don't put, we don't put our shit moments up for everybody to see.
Yeah. Elon Musk talked about that too. The people that you see on Instagram that you think are on social media that you think are the happiest are
The
probably
people
pretty
with the
sad.
biggest smiles are fucking struggling the most, for sure.
Yeah, well, they're trying to project that. They're always trying to project you the best version of what their
You know
life
what gets the best response all over my Instagram? When I post about my family or even our struggles. Mm-hmm. Like, this is rough right now. You know, but you
Right.
share it. You say,
Yeah.
but we're going to get through. We're going to be all right.
That's one of the things that people like about you. You know, is that you're real. You're not. I mean, even though you're a famous guy who's been a successful musician for a long
Kinda
time,
famous. I
you-
used to be famous.
But you're you. You're a normal dude. You know.
I take that as the highest compliment.
You
man.
should.
Yeah.
It is the highest
I take
compliment.
that as a seriously
Listen,
high
I gotta
compliment.
wrap this podcast up because I have to shit my
All right,
pants.
before we do,
Unfortunately,
tomorrow night, the Brooklyn Bowl. Friday,
Yes.
August 5th at the Brooklyn Bowl, UFC Ultimate Pre-Party. T.
Beautiful.
Woodley is hosting.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Psycho Realm and my man Evidence. If you want to get a discount, UFC Unfiltered is the code. Put it in there. Come see us tomorrow night. It's going to be the bomb.
And get it, ladies and gentlemen. Everlast, Whitey Ford, House of Pain, available now everywhere. Thank you, my brother.
Thanks for having me.
Woo!